yet. The veto is something we'll touch on in a moment's time, because that's a whole different thing. But coming into this now, what are your thoughts? Especially, let's lean into that Omen then. What are your thoughts with that coming out?
I think this is fairly indicative of what sort of play style we're going to see from Supermassive Blaze. And I think in particular, you think back to that Vision Striker series, how much we were talking about them willing to sit so deep and allow PaperX to kind of overextend. Speaking of that, Forsaken, straight up towards lobby, and actually the ping's going to get onto Pora. Forsaken finds the opening.
Yeah, but it's the rest of it that's a problem as well. That B hit is still finding very little success. Sheba even going to claim Turco, and it's down to 2, and they're already the walking wounded. Russ and Brave are going to have to do something quite miraculous in this one, and it's not going to happen. Very clean start for PaperX there. And again, some of the key points we touched on before when casting these guys was someone like Forsaken. He will not stop doing this.
Well, and let's look actually the flip side. That just coming back to the composition, right? There's nothing in place to kind of get Izzy online other than him being aggressive to find those opening duels almost on his own back. Forsaken, actually, with PaperX as a whole here, they cover both sides of the coin. They have Devi and they have Forsaken that can kind of just do these little set pieces, also with Mind Freak in the early round as well.
Yep.
So a lot of possibilities here for PaperX to actually cause some real problems for Supermassive Blaze.
And we were thoroughly impressed with Devi as well. I think it was that 1-2 punch. Yes, Forsaken is always going to be a headliner, right? He catches the eye for a good reason. Of course he's re-peeking it. Of course he's re-peeking it. Just showing the strength of the Marshal. And we've already seen some of that Brazilian flair. Why not throw on some Turkish flair to this one? As SMB not quite having the chance yet. There it is, suddenly changing hands. The right click on the Classic will always strike fear into just about everyone. But now look at Sheba trying to take that space back. Really good approach. A little dangerous, a little risky to put himself up there, but he wants to reclaim that territory, joined as well in Sewer by Devi. So that's going to be working in tandem. And Pora and Turco still over towards spawn side, and Sheba happy to use that weapon advantage and well aware of the final player. Lovely work in the end, kept it calm after what was a little bit of a sketchy start there. A couple of exchanges that put them on their toes, but they had players in the right place.
For sure. I think this is PaperX, I guess, trying to set the tone of what they want. And then again, this kind of plays into what I was talking about. With Brave, they don't really have this mid-round pivot. They don't have the opportunity to kind of call these audibles. They have to wait and see what PaperX is going to do and make a decision based upon that. So this is interesting to see the first 2 rounds go this way. Again, good ultimate progress towards Sheba and Forsaken. Again, we know what he's capable with the Blade Storm, so that's a big tick in the box in my eyes. Whether or not we see SMB lean a little heavier, which we are here, towards A lobby to maybe contest this.
Yeah, but Forsaken's going to re-peek it every time. It took so long for him to even be tamed off those aggressive peaks. It's not like he'll suddenly fall back, suddenly play a bit more passive. That's something to get used to throughout this game. And Sheba might put himself up for a trade. They both swung at the same time, and he's going to progress up long. And Sheba may as well do this. Yeah, what a pickup as well. That's a rifle. Brave caught sleeping in this. Maybe they were the ones walking out brushing their teeth in the bathrobes. Already, that's a little dangerous. Looking at the purchase, though, they do have 2 rifles. Mind Freak and Device still have that. So for them, that's a lovely benefit. And obviously that op coming out for Forsaken so early on in this. So these 4 other rifles aren't exactly pound for pound substantially higher than the opposing buy.
SMB going to try and end up on C here again. Devi and Sheba happy to sit outside
So
garage and give this up. Mind Freak as well. He's going to be called upon, but
Oh, the timing.
I think he just missed that. They're walking onto site here.
Yeah, he just missed that timing. And he's still going to get 1, which is incredible value for this. And Izzy's made a meal of it. Gets caught on the way out, trying to move around to the site. And look at this. I've got to say it. PaperX look absolutely on today. And Russ is now buried as well.
Wow.
That's the bonus converted PaperX. These guys are looking sharp right now. And I'm a bit worried here. Everything was right. And honestly, the reason that got slightly closer was just a bit of awkward timing. It happens. You look away from the push through garage just to check on long. It happens. He still got 1 on that repeat.
Again, the contingency's there. There's an extra body actually in hand outside
2
garage.
at the back of
2
garage.
1 C site. It's
easy.
You can play trades in that scenario, especially when they find that first blood on Brave, which, again, he invests his smoke off the rip. So straight away, if they don't actually gain anything from that, there's a timer. They have to wait until they're in a position where they can execute anywhere else.
And while we're in a bit of a Shiko, a half buy, a little bit of a lighter purchase from SMB, I like that. Being, I guess, aware of what you're doing on the map. You take that space towards A long, you make that pressure on Sewer time and time again. Okay, well, if they're not coming here, we've already taken that territory, why not stack towards the other side? Take that space as well, be aware of the repercussion to our actions. I really like that from PaperX. Didn't love that from Izzy, couldn't make anything of that.
Almost just trying to Gets something from nothing, actually. Forsaken gonna get spotted over the top of logs there. Poor will find one. Mindfreak don't. Okay, it's a little awkward, but he will find two on the back of it.
That makes it a little clean towards the end. It is a 3v2, but the safety net that's in place for Paper Rex is more substantial, as you're seeing with the ults coming out. Now it's just down towards Russ. More armor, needed the shot cleanly, he's not going to get a Divide. This is clean work, 3 alive again for Paper Rex. They're now going to start stringing together the economy. Op is back into the hands as well, so they don't have to repurchase that, spend all those credits. It's all good. They get to build and build and build. This is when it gets snowbally. This is when it can get in your head. A lot of pressure now on SMB.
But again, this lean towards A in the early round, I don't think SMB actually have made real progress, at least within the first 20 seconds or so, other than poor on C long, which is not really being given anything on the side of Paper Rex. They now need to re-explore something else, or I guess try and force the issue on A, because they've not won this out once. It's been Shiba and Forsaken. This time around, Benkai is actually over towards A's site. But they've gained nothing by doing this in the previous rounds, Lauren.
Yeah, I'm looking to see that benefit. Now, this is new. Forsaken going walkabout on C long, and you're right, it's Izzy who will have the op as well. If you've watched the prior games, you can see why Izzy is posted on that. They've been watching tape, they know exactly these sort of looks that Forsaken will go for. Now they have the player advantage.
And this is the thing, this is what we saw Vision Strikers do. They were happy to sit in anticipation of Forsaken doing exactly this. This time it will create an opportunity here for SMB. And they'll have to sit tight for the time being. Haven't used any smokes just yet, so we don't have to wait for those cooldowns on the side of Brave. Still sat here, turret set up. Spot out Shiba getting a little curious in mid. Look at this right now. Nobody is in front of spawn or boxes or window or anything on the side of SuperMassive plays.
And I quite like Seekers being invested as well. It will give a little bit more, I guess, faith in positioning for that Cypher sat on an island. They know that it's still this C/mid lane. And it will mean that pretty much all of this pressure might go towards Mindfreak. Back of the plateau, he does have support from Devi, and we are going to have the ult coming in. It's not going to push them out of positions too far. It will mean they're aware of where they can sit, and it does at least give SMB the step towards the site. Is he leading the way? Mindfreak at the back, pinged out, he knows it. Oh, wait. Okay, good positioning from Russ to make sure that was going to be picked up. But Divine, nice little high flash, does find one. Follow-up, not going to happen. The jump peak was a little off kilter. And now we have Benkai. A 1v2 presented. He just got the first out of the third. They line up! Oh my, oh my. My heart skipped a beat, but Pora claims it. This is big from SMB, and they needed that. But again, it was a costly round. It wasn't an easy round. That was a couple, I mean, the ults were coming out. Everything was coming around. Even with that entry, you think how much they had to invest just for that side take.
Absolutely. And you think about all the things that actually, once 30 seconds rolls past, 45 seconds roll past, what a Paper Rex got to deal with. It comes up the Cosmic Divide, the Seekers, all of these things, they're actively gathering information, right? They can make a decision based on that. People in the right place. Unfortunately, SMB are able to weather the storm, I guess, in that sense, and still end up on C, but that's another thing.
Hold on, I want to see if he's actually really reading this well. Forsaken is constantly controlling this area. You noted it earlier, winning this fight predominantly with the others. And again, sitting super deep, but look at the amount of space Forsaken's taking here. Now, I don't know if he's working dry from this point onwards. It's just him. He doesn't have the Sky, to help him out. He doesn't have anyone else to set him into motion. And you can see SMB are very aware, now extremely aware of what he's up to. Now, somehow Benkai claimed a quick kill through Garage while that was happening. But it is a 4v4. And Devi looked like he was willing to maybe give it a crack. But again, he's only got that Spectre, so has to sit a little deeper.
I love this. So they've tucked Benkai into Cubby here. Mindfreak will retreat. No audio cue given away just yet. But again, we're going to see the counter peek from Mindfreak, or even taking first contact to bait for Benkai.
Attention,
yeah.
Because SMB are fully focused. There we go. There's the peek, and actually great work from Brave. The hard clear on the corner after we've not seen that look yet. We hadn't seen that. It had purely been the Astra back of sight or plateau, just kind of playing around it, or platform, whatever you like to call it. And again, brilliant approach from SMB. I want to highlight that. That's really diligent work from them. And this is a big correction in something that could have massively caught them out here.
And actually look at who they find on the other side, and if Paper Rex have done their homework, finding Pora there, I think they anticipate that's the weaker side of this default. He's there to make sure that nothing kind of slips through the net. And again, the adjustment, perfect on both sides, right? They anticipate, they found the lurk, expecting SMB to end up on C. They try and address that, but like you said, diligence on the side of SMB. Nearly a nice little set piece as well, with a gravity well or something to enable Benkai there.
Could have been dirty.
Could have been a different story.
Oh yeah, plenty of potential. Now the rest of SMB will back away from the site, keep all the weaponry that they've garnered, and 4 alive is very important. Their money would have been waning, they've been having some rough rounds, even in the victories, but this is much better, going to stabilize them going forward. And on the other side, we still have Shiba and Divide keeping theirs as well, so they'll be able to bring those through to the next round just fine. But a couple of answers now found. This is, I guess, stabilizing moments from SMB, and we need them to show this kind of tempered approach, which doesn't necessarily suit them. That was a shot and a half.
Yeah, I didn't even. We obviously saw the other side of that from Benkai, but that was, I guess, genuinely the opener. But again, the perfect response in terms of structure. Somebody holding whilst Brave pushes up. He then has the time to clear all these angles that, you know, maybe if they're a little spaced apart, they don't have that opportunity.
I have to say, SMB, I think they're a team that's easy to underestimate because they had a very hard first game. You know, they're a team that you could easily overlook, but I promise you, do not. This event has yet to really show their colors, but already that opening exchange once again happening towards Sewer.
SMB actively now trying to take back Lobby from the control of Paper X. They will freeze for a moment. Utility burnt up, but again, with this composition, you look towards the smokes, you look towards the wall, the slow orbs, everything that can really get them onto site in terms of this execute. But 3 members of Paper X still here. Actually, Divide comes across to heal up Forsaken as well.
Yeah, I mean, it works out well off the back of that flash, still confirming that there are players towards long. They know they're still around here. They will commit to this Forsaken. He looked like he was about to turn the flash, but actually the timing's just off by a fraction of a second, and SMB will strike in that time. And now they want to get that site under wraps, but we did have the early lean off the back of that initial information. Shiba is still here, but Brave cracks open the site. That's huge. And now once again, Mindfreak in an unwinnable scenario. Perfect approach from SMB, and that is a Prime Gaming flawless.
Fantastically done. Again, half a second either way there for Forsaken. The Blaze Storm can do some real damage. We saw this tiny set piece a couple of times versus Vision Strikers, and actually, time and time again, they found an opening. They found 1 or 2 kills to string together, and it completely shut down Vision Strikers in this exact scenario, honestly. But I know Kukuka wasn't happy. This adjustment here from SMB, they're waiting. I think they're leaning heavily into Forsaken or potentially Divide, Mindfreak, whoever is going to make these early round moves, and they're not actually relying on these set pieces to get into sight. But I want to see a couple of variations now. I want to see a different look, especially if we see SuperMassive plays now kind of revert back, because they've now won a round effectively with that A lobby control.
Yeah, Mindfreak. Blocking vision. Here we go. Let's see your best heat impression. Maybe a TENS impression, depending on what time of the day it is. It's all good. Don't mind. Either or, they've made that thing look miraculous. And SMB just kind of get in the lay of the land. They're not quiet in taking a couple of, not early challenges, but a bit of space. They're already starting to build mid, but look at that push up over towards A. Now, has been watching that in the background. So that's a battle that's been kind of wedging on his... Just, what?
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, it was such a good setup as well, Lauren.
It was really quite nice. It didn't end up very nice, though, did it?
Didn't look great. Benkai gets tagged by the recon bolt. Another Prime Gaming flawless for them.
It's not on. That's not getting highlighted, is it?
No, don't want to see that in the post match.
It's not in the montage.
No.
Or maybe it is.
Yeah, for someone.
Yeah. There's this like TikTok where it's just someone spamming on the side and just missing every shot. Oh, production, you're nasty. You're nasty. He was so blind as well. Fully blind.
All right, but this is it. Coming back to the buy round, again, whether we see a switch up here, the first time really we've seen Divide address mid was on that eco round, right, with just pistols. Not liking what I'm seeing initially. Again, it's going to be Forsaken called upon. Aldone actually going to reveal him here, so they've located the operator.
Okay.
We'll try and find him with the Hunter's Fury.
Ambitious.
We'll get the tag, actually. Okay, Forsaken has to burn his dash.
But Mindfreak is still just finding the bailout, the get out of jail free card if required. They can actually give up the site to an extent. They'll say, okay, you take the site, we'll posture for a retake. We've got it to a 5v4, that's okay. And space-wise, they're all kind of towards CT right now. I want to see that split towards Garage, maybe take a bit more territory here. They do right now at least have SMB locked towards the side. And it looks like Izzy's postured up for a bit more of an aggressive fight. Still a little paranoid about that garage play coming through. Flash comes in. Is he getting ready for it? Here we go. Brave's found one, and now Brave from the back of the side knows there's more. But, ooh, these are some Brave crosses. They look panicked, but right now the frags are not coming in just yet on the retake. Forsaken found one, but an instantaneous trade for Russ. As now looking at who's remaining, it is just Forsaken, and nothing is coming through for him here. It might be time to back away, keep that up, and see if he can catch a couple on the way out. Yeah, that's not landing, and he's got someone on the flank. SMB are right back in the driving seat after a very shaky start.
Yeah, and looking a little more comfortable now in terms of, again, identifying where the operator is, identifying that it's not a stack up, it's not a set piece. He doesn't have Devi in position to kind of flash him into anything. I think they can actually read that perfectly. Right, this is actually where they're leaning away from. They've left him here with an operator, expecting him to find at least one. Again, it's the owl drone that completely pulls that apart. It's one piece of utility that creates that opportunity. Now, a couple of sheriffs in this, but no Blade Storm. A Marshal in the hand of Mindfreak, and SuperMassive plays, build up.
Double stack, sure. They can't. They wouldn't be bold enough to swing it, would they?
Surely not.
No, okay, so they're waiting for the flash. And the Sheriff, okay. I was kind of interested if they really felt they'd pulled enough attention towards Long then on that Sova. Maybe they went and had a little dabble, but now it's a little late in the day. And they can just hold this for now. You can hear them exploring Long. They can hear those steps. They'll know that someone's nearby, but it's patience. And Izzy's well aware that someone's probably down there. Forsaken has been living in this for the last God knows how many rounds. This
is really interesting because it's actually Forsaken that will take contact, right? This flash doesn't catch him. And then Devi swings on the back of it, so...
Who's going to be the one to test it, Pora? Let's see how well this works. Contact now.
Perfectly done. Beautiful
stuff. Wow. I think that was fantastic. You could see the intention as well, but... there will be the second layer.
Yes.
Still cleared out. I'm so happy to see this from SMB. They are truly crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Everything is accounted for here. No weak anti-ecos at this point, which is something that has haunted a good couple of teams.
Absolutely. Seen enough of it. Again, talk about heat, talk about yay. Actually tens as well. Mindfreak will find a tag, but we've got to back away here, and I think they're probably just going to want to make sure. They absolutely do. It's another Prime Gaming flawless for SuperMassive Blaze. Get the counter up on screen. I think that's 3 now. Actually, initially dropping 4 rounds, they've answered back with 6 of their own. So able to, again, that setup, perfect. Pora knows. I think actually straight away they're trying something ratty here, and Sue is just get out of dodge.
Let's call him Shredder. Do you ever?
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Who's your favorite?
Did you just check if I knew who Shredder was?
Yeah.
Oh, Michelangelo, obviously.
Yeah, that does make sense. Leonardo, yeah. Anyway, back into the game 6-4. We do have the buy coming out for Paper X, and obviously they're now in the spot with money where it's that constant back and forth down to the sheriffs and marshals and odds and ends. Alt. Pora's going to invest his towards that B side. Clear out actually, kind of garage, a backside. This actually can facilitate a C hit quite nicely. Yeah. So let's see if that does translate. Already Izzy going to confirm someone was on the site, so again, they should be able to start making that progress if they wanted to off it. That does force out the Seekers. And they're actually gonna, no, it's a whiff. It's a horrible whiff. No. Again, yes, Pora has great aim. We all know that. Anyone who's got a pair of eyes knows that.
Well,
I mean,
I'll tell you who didn't have a pair of eyes in that situation. Devi.
Yeah, he's got the hand warmers just on. He's been copying the style. It's a nightmare.
It's a bit throwy.
It's a bit throwy. It happens. It's rough when you see it happen in a game like this, because it's enough to make you frustrated. It's enough to take that confidence away from a player, and we've seen what can happen with Devi when he's on a good game. So hopefully that doesn't, echo throughout. But Forsaken is still alive, and there is still 30 seconds. Brave towards the side. He's still alive, and you can see there's still danger with Forsaken, but it's nothing compared to the 4 that now still stand for SMB.
SMB now 7-4 up, an opportunity actually to close out 8-4. Yes, there will be a purchase on the side of Paper X, but again, even with that loss bonus, I don't think it's going to be a full purchase. A great flash. Devi was completely blind. It needed to be the other way around.
It looked like it got around the corner, but I guess it just...
It looked like Pora should have been blind.
Yeah. Look, I main Sky. I am also blind most of the time. Do not worry. I feel
play with you. I'm blind most of the time.
That implies you've ever actually bothered to play with me rather than just like running in and inting on Jet. That's a solid meme. Solid meme you've come out with there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You've never played Killjoy with us. Instalox Jet.
So let's look at this default right here,
on
actually.
Discord, just... Yeah, tell me about this. Tell me about it.
This is interesting. SuperMassive Play is actually now leaning away from A once again. Alvin going to come down mid again, going to spot this out.
Cover going out.
One smoke invested towards Garage here, at least onto window, and Mindfreak and Benkai. Decent up here, but the tripwire dealt with immediately. See the pings in response. And this is where usually you'd expect Forsaken to come through, but I think forced back in his shell a little bit. Again, the fact that he's got a Sheriff, I don't think he wants to go hunting. Does have the Blade Storm, but Izzy is posted.
I mean, look how many ults they're going to be ending on this with as well. Final round of the first half here. I'm kind of hoping they burn through a couple more at this point, but that's how it goes. The slow progression towards C is happening, but by this point they have been kind of able to cheat over the additional player off the back of the information or lack of contact on A. Here are those ults coming out though. Gonna pop a few, but Izzy's on the side now. He's in trouble here. 70 HP, has to get out of dodge. He can't. Divide takes a riskier peek to find him, and he reaps the rewards. And now there's gonna be the Blade Storm coming out as well. Forsaken's there, Benko's there. When the right read's in the right place, they get the frags, they hone in on C Long, and it's shut down. 7-5 on the half. This is still a close game, but PaperX, a great start and one at the end. It's that middle portion that's truly a problem, and maybe some people to talk you through that. Cuckoo kind of noting the things that we were seeing throughout. Actually, Izzy's ability to kind of catch that aggression that was so characteristic of what made someone like PaperX so deadly.
And it's interesting to see, yes, so Kuku mentioned Pora kind of almost overextending in a sense, but Izzy's actually the safety net. That flank control comes from Izzy to be posted up with an operator, which, again, when you're not relying solely on this entry, you're relying on the other team pushing to find it. It's a really interesting concept. So I have to see actually what develops in the second half, because I actually agree. They've kind of tamed Forsaken, right? By finding him in a number of different scenarios. Now he needs to switch that up. He needs to dial back in and rely on that aggression.
Yeah, I want to see that next layer. I've never heard anyone say that SMB were a passive side, but they've been able to adjust themselves in the correct way to tame this aggression, to catch these pushes, and I think it's a really good look to show that versatility here.
Looking like a better version of FPX, if I'm perfectly honest.
I'm with you on it. I'm there. Brave, though. Gorgeous shot. It's a stunner. He's got a follow-up too. Look, if you find Forsaken, you know Devi's normally nearby. It's the 1-2 combo. And Brave's not alone here. He does have support as well. Is he? Waiting up top. The flash will force him off the angle. But it's not going to be that A piece. They're changing their mind here.
Wall's invested on C Long though. Again, as Turco look to pull away, the alarm bot in Garage, they're going to know about this before it comes. And they know that they can't be coming up from C Long in particular. But they just through Garage again. Turco has to give this up because I think the plan was for him to lay that wall and get out of there. But man advantage for SMB in the retake.
Yeah, but look at the damage chipped away at. Not too much, but enough to maybe pull attention. I'm trying to look at these post-plant positions. Quite deep towards Garage. Maybe we want to take that space back. Yeah, Mindfreak, this is a really risky fight. You're now just in a tunnel. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And now here we go. Springboard off the back. SMB want the side back. Device sitting at long, still only one flash. The next one's up in 30. You're not going to get much more than that. I hope you get some value. It didn't get what he wanted. Smoke still up. Izzy wants to get that to halfway, and he might be able to do it. Device going to find one, though. And it's all falling to pieces, but Izzy will not be moved. The defuse comes in right under their noses.
What a fantastic turnaround there. And actually just noting SMB buying enough time for Pora to actually get his turret back and put that in connector. Shiba went all the way from C-Long back towards double doors in. So all they have to do on Long is effectively buy time, right? This is exactly it. Thank you so much for this replay. Because again, it's massive. He still gets 2 kills. Tommy actually trades it. And then
good old Tommy.
Again, there's so much time eating up there. Wow, what an interesting pistol round that is.
And that's a fire-up round too, if you're SMB. Because you're playing back on a retake, you've absolutely springboarded back into this after some really nice creative approaches. Now Izzy sat towards the top of the site. He does have the Vandal out, so he is ready, locked in on this. This is going to be a good moment for him. Now, it has been revealed, so has to respect that. And I like Forsaken taking this space for the back of the flash too. Side says it's a really good look, but I don't think you're going to get much out of it.
See already Pora now going to make moves towards mid, so PaperX have to be conscious of that. Devi in the right position to shut this down.
Oh, the timing. If Devi has been caught on timing here, this is going to be Oh, break, no, he actually looks back at the right time. So Pora's being caught off, they keep some map space this time. A little bit more to worry about now. You've got that time limit on, maybe someone's flanking, we've got to make a move here, and that's going to be that. Brave pushes on in, finds Forsaken. Benkai on the side now called into attention, catches the push through on Garage, and actually pushes deeper towards the defensive side. It's a 3v2. Mindfreak and Divine maybe a little baffled by this.
That's just falling apart for Paper X again. Turco going to find his third. Mindfreak will fall. And once again, I gotta say, SMB weather the storm there, and they take a step back and they look very, very comfortable, very structured on that retake. Put themselves 9-5 up. Again, Paper X though. I don't want to say it's all-out aggression. Again, the flash with the gravity well, the set piece was really nice to get in, but SMB know when to dial it back.
And this is something we hadn't yet seen from SMB. No. For those who are just tuning in, let's say you're a little new. Exactly. Let's say you're new to like EMEA teams, maybe Turkish teams particularly. You haven't quite had that experience with them yet. Well, let me give you a breakdown. This was like the superstar roster, right? They picked up all this hot talent, trying to meld all those egos and confidence and finding that right place amongst each other. But this was very limited from what we saw from them leading into this tournament. We barely got an idea of who they are. But them showing this sort of a little bit more refined look, this little bit more calmer look, is fantastic. They have this gear to shift into.
They could put themselves up close and personal towards B. Or actually, now reposition his turret once again. Now Paper X are expecting to be able to do a hit and run here. Spike actually all the way in the back line actually with Mindfreak, so I think maybe actually just looking for the opening on the back of these Sheriffs.
Again, patience.
Nothing achieved in the early round.
Look at this. I mean, patience is being shown by Pora here, and I'm happy to see it. I like the fact that we've had someone being able to deal with Forsaken and Device combination that has put big teams through their paces, and the SMB have this to go to. Very nice. Let's see how it works when they maybe close that gap a little, as they have taken steps towards A-Long now.
See now that wall's down the top of sewers.
Time though, 30 seconds.
There's not a lot, and like I said, nothing achieved in the early round. They don't even have an opportunity here. They have to force the issue towards Garage.
He's got an angle to work with.
Well.
Yeah, that's lovely. Even just doing a bit of damage can fall away from that. Doesn't have to do much more. Just sets up Izzy for an easier fight towards the site, and there it is. Izzy beheads Benkai. Flash comes in. Oh my word, Izzy. He's still standing, but for only so long. Spike is down though, so is the round. No matter what they do, it's all but done. 10 on the board now. Double digits reached for SMB.
Now we look towards Paper X if they've even got anything online. The previous round, just some Sheriffs thrown in, but that second round force put them kind of around behind. Devi has the Seeker, Sheba 2 away from Hunter's Fury, but nothing else available here. Actually, Izzy now Operator online, Bladestorm as well available, so effectively a buy in hand here. Turco actually going to ride the Spectre through this, so a little bit of a buffer as well on top of that.
Yeah, build up the bank. Izzy, aggression shown at the start there, so Sheba's on red alert now. Paper X need to find a way back in at this point. Keep in mind, it was a very one-sided start, and then it turned, so it can be done. They have the rifles, but they really need to make sure in the right place to utilize this. The perfect approach needs to be found. Not an easy round now in front of them. This is probably the toughest round they've got, and the one that could change the entire game now. Oh, I'm brave. He does have support on long, one in sewer too. This is actually quite a forward lean coming out towards that A side.
There's actually Turco almost playing anti-flash. We're going to smoke off, actually. The Tiger will clear out Brave. Now, actually, perfect use of the smoke there from Forsaken to isolate a duel.
Yeah, exactly that. They found the one fight, and Forsaken finds his way in. What? 3 quick kills, and the site's all theirs. You could not ask for a better approach on that one, and you're right. It was off the back of being able to isolate some of these players with such limited knowledge. That is incredible work from Paper X. That's the side we're waiting to see.
Poor and Izzy. A 2v4 again. It's a tall order. Izzy with that operator as well, so if they do go for this, it'll require some use of the Bladestorm for sure. It looks like they might just be opting to drift away. Mindfreak actually goes on a wander. Might even try and hunt this down. Again, it would be huge for Paper X to remove this operator in particular. The alarm bot's still in position though. Will reveal Mindfreak. I'll put Pora in a position now. He's aware that they're close by at least. But on the flip side of that, keeping 4 alive is a lot more valuable for Paper X in terms of the economy. They have a couple more rounds to string together. Forsaken, man, it's just literally popping off. Again, I even identified the Turco playing. They're anticipating, you know, Device sending something in here to enable somebody to find these kills. It's beautiful. Second, he's actually insane. That 3-piece was so clean, Lauren.
It was 10-6 now. This is the build back they need, though. They have to do more than just, you know, the initial push. It has to keep going. This has to be a bit of a tear coming out from them now. Hard to quell some of the work that's been coming out from SMB. And there's Izzy on the cross. Straight away makes it through. Different look, though, not pushing up as deep this time. Do have the support as well coming out from Turco. Paper X, so eyeing up towards that B site now. Towards the back of it will be Pora, and he has the swing from Russ if required, but it's going to be Pora taking this clean fight, and Forsaken cleanly takes his head off, so the site's all theirs. Spike now being planted. This is what you want to see, that adjustment. If it's just ways to facilitate Forsaken, I'm more than happy, and does he keep going? Playing on the edge of this. Just around that corner, you've got Brave, you've got Russ. He's taking a little more space. And look at this on the other side, though. Izzy and Turco are right there. The net's closing in. And the post plants are pretty deep. It's pretty much the forward 2. Divide, Forsaken. Flash goes in. He knows Brave's close, but Russ is still fine. And the swing out from Brave. Hey, Xantares peak, Brave peak. I mean, make it a Ferrari peak. Paper X are holding this down. That's important. Wall goes through. Izzy, though, up on top, still looking for more. Trying to divide, slice into manageable pieces. But the time, it's dwindling, and they ain't got much left of it now. Turco knows he's out of time, out of options. He may drag some to the grave with him, but this one's done for. Paper X make it back now, 2 in a row.
That's really interesting to watch. Again, all Paper X have to do is sit in mid. There's no attempt from Supermassive Blaze to address that mid control. Again, how many times we see this sort of hit and run on B site? Able to sit back here. Brave actually finds it, but again, you see there 9 seconds left on the smoke. They need that smoke to make sure that the Sage Wall can't just be completely ripped away from them immediately. There needs to be that kind of layering of utility outside B to make sure that they can even find that defuse. There's only one player on site. It's Forsaken. He falls immediately. That's a huge benefit for Supermassive Blaze.
Is this aggression? Oh, it is. Walk straight down C-Long. 2 players in Cubby right now? Okay. I mean, there's 4 players stacked on C. They're trying to do something with this very weird purchase. Now, Russ is the only one with the rifle as well. Pora does have lockdown. Now, with the contact he's getting right here, this could be the time to lean towards that if they want to. Spike's going to go down. And the retake will start as soon as this comes in. But you're right, you pointed it out. Shiva. Counter's ready.
Spike planted.
Need to be able to address this if the lockdown was the plan from the get-go. I don't think it's looking like it was. Pora's going to slip out, though. The paranoia comes through. Looks like is he going to try and dash through with the Blade Storm, but nothing found.
Oh, but Dubai waiting in the corner. He could not ask for a better position. Forsaken tries to overextend a little and actually gives his life over. It's a 3v4. The rifle's still with Russ, but the post plants are strong. They have that brilliant crossfire, but this flank, man, that is going to be just a
1 enemy remaining.
Real end of the line for them as Russ left in a 1v4. He did have the Vandal at the start. Don't know if he's going to have it in. No, he's not. Paper X right back into things. They found their footing finally.
Beautiful stuff again. Well handled. I think there is a moment there where Pora considers the use of the lockdown, but on a round like that where you only have the Blade Storm, right? You don't really have any other weapons to try and find something on the way back in, but that ping as well on Pora inside the cage. Unfortunate timing. Huge round from Divide. Again, well handled. And actually, it's interesting to see as soon as they identify. I think the Aldrone only spots Brave, right? So it's 2 members accounted for. Izzy's obviously getting himself into Cubby as well with that Blade Storm, but just on the back of that.
Where's the adjustment that you see? What needs to be addressed here? What can you address in these sort of rounds you've seen? Because we haven't had that many yet. This is still relatively early.
The problem being, with this composition, there's not really anything the Supermassive Blaze can do to be hyper aggro and super proactive on the defense. It relies on Brave cutting something off with a smoke, you know, maybe an Aldrone. This time around, actually, Izzy going to be up on top of B site. Again, Aldrone used perfectly. You know, identify the operator very early on in the round.
Switch up of pace maybe from PaperX just coming out of that timeout. I don't mind it. It's actually a nice little counter read coming in. Forsaken, though, going to take the space, and Brave's in all kinds of trouble. I don't think he realizes. No, Forsaken got away with murder. And now he's got so much territory. Ult's coming out. Oh, this is hard to watch. SMB, Bora, how have you outdone him? He was aware of your position. He had the ult, and you still win the fight. Shiba.
So close with that.
Shiba, there was like 3 of them just around that corner, but the KJ ult, they have to respect it.
Post-farm-wise, Shiba only has 1 shot card left. The lockdown will get them onto site. Again, Gravity well there, going to make sure they're able to buy enough time to outlive this lockdown, Lauren.
And now we go. Russ, that is a huge fight to win. There's still Benkai here. Keep your mind ticking over of Mind Freak's flank. There it is. Good for 1. That's okay. It's not too bad. You'll put your life on the line for that, but now Diffuse. Timing is everything. You can get it just about halfway. Smoke will dissipate beforehand. Denial. Shiba, huge pick up of a kill. Finding Turco is just the cherry on top of the cake, but denying the Diffuse was all that they needed.
The same thing again. The lockdown comes through. It's going to force them all the way off. All they need is a smoke and a wall there. Again, because PaperX have to respect that. Effectively, in that scenario, they just have to outlive the lockdown, right? As long as they don't fumble completely here and give away kills before that happens. Great awareness from Bora once again. Mind Freak's been in this position a number of times now for PaperX to lurk so deep behind these executes. But perfectly played by PaperX.
Yeah,
it really is completely negating the use of the lockdown.
Yeah, this is incredibly impressive. Again, I want to highlight coming into this SMB with the team coming from Turkey, especially that caught everyone's attention. These are superstars in that region. They are incredible at what they do, but PaperX have actually found so much ability to answer back. I was worried after that tear of rounds they had, and now we're into the Shiko. I look at this being 10-10.
Certainly, expectation is to tie things up, especially when Forsaken has got this deep. And look at this, they find Mind Freak on the other side, but again, they're going to know this is the lurk. Shiba actually in a position where could get caught off guard. Brave will slip up behind this through double doors as well, and there's 2 other members of SMB going to isolate this kill. Should Shiba finds 2? What? Russ as well. Oh, that would have been huge. There would have been a 5v3 for the retake, a couple of upgrades as well. That's unfortunate for Supermassive Blaze.
Shiba might get some more here. Izzy's just on the other side. Okay,
cool.
Maybe not. Fair enough.
Quick with it.
Yeah, got it. Understood. He understood the assignment. I clearly didn't. Bora, though. Yeah, this is unfavorable. Harsh fight. Benkai takes a bit of damage, but yeah, you can hear the clock. Oh, put a fork in it. That one's done. 10-10. We're all even. A good attempt from SMB to try and find that space, but as I said, that one player found so much impact. All of those small percentages they were trying to build off made nothing happen.
Now, we're in a bit of an interesting point in the game, because there's not an awful lot left in the tank for Supermassive Blaze if they lose this one. So that will be PaperX on 11. Actually, the other side of that, even if Supermassive Blaze win this, they don't exactly have a buy in hand. They almost need to win this flawlessly, or at least 3 or 4 will stand.
Minimum 3 up, otherwise you're in such a poor purchase.
This could be the turning point. Even after this comeback, so do it. This could be the turning point where PaperX can close this out.
Device starting to clear through sewer. Wall goes up.
Oh, no.
Oh, unlucko, Malacco. That sucks. Turco's still alright, but kind of missing a little bit of the concept there. Divide as well, so looks like it's going to be a pop off the back of that flash, potentially clearing close corner as well. They know that Turco and Izzy, or at least one player, is still watching towards sewer. And they're divided up. Izzy can actually lean back towards the side itself. Forsaken had maybe a glimpse, but fell off that. And SMB just have to wait to see what comes through that wall, and already one's made it up towards the side. Russ is on the other side of this. Devi on towards Long, couple on towards sewer, but Russ actually swings around, finding Forsaken, but it's a quick trade for Devi. Izzy on the back of the side. Turco's there as well, and now they're going to have an instant watch of both pushing up from sewer. There it is.
And it will be 4 to survive. So at least now we'll equalize things financially in this game. And I'll say the first time SMB have actually looked really comfortable. It's on the back of, I think, Turco having that revive available. They're willing to fight to the death for a site here. And PaperX actually, they lurk so long once they get 1 or 2 bodies onto the site just to try and build that paranoia and almost force Supermassive Blaze to overstep the mark, right? To make a move, to at least figure out what's going on behind the Cosmic Divide.
Yeah. Now, 11-10 though, look at the stretch arounds. It was, what, 5 on the trot coming out from Paper X. So this is just about being taken back. Now, repetition is always the name of the game here. Consistency is always the last thing to fall into place, and it's the hardest part to get right. You see the early utility invested to try and clear through towards Sewer.
I have the spike.
Sheba putting a little touch towards Garage, but no full intention shown yet.
Brave looking a little curious outside B. Himself his smoke to play around for the time being, but nobody from Paper X. Actually, Mind Freak's starting to creep his way up. Again, getting it close enough to at least hear the turret on the other side here. So again, an indicator, I guess, of how SMB are set up, and another member noted as well. So SuperMassive Blaze now with a decent idea where Paper X are set up, and actually on the back of this initial utility. Yeah, it's 30 seconds left, and SMB have everything to deal with it. Look, they're drifting away, but Forsaken's going to find the space behind this. The spike's making its way as well.
How deep can he get without any sort of worries? Now, you're going to hear the utility being invested. They now know that there's a problem on their hands. Benkai, in the meantime, did find Izzy, so now we're going to see Forsaken ready and waiting ahead of the curve. Catches them off guard, trying to keep that sight under check. Spike going to be going down, and there it is. Post-plant 4v3, Russ, Pora, and Turco left scratching their heads. Is that the ult coming out? Yeah, it is.
Izzy
okay.
on the Blade Storm, yeah.
Double stack towards Hell, one towards Sight, I guess. And then the late plate towards Long. Interesting. Okay. Drop down, first in, no trade, nothing. It was just Izzy left to rot. Just what? What is this for a retake? No trades, no timing, no spacing. Forsaken will laugh that up every day of the week.
I don't know what we just watched. Brave just TP'd behind default. I guess Turco maybe relayed some information that that was a fake, or nobody's made it to sight yet, but what is this?
It's a blind call. Like, and it's...
But that's the biggest tool in terms of Supermassive Blaze retake. They have a recon bolt, they have smokes, and they have a paranoia. That is it. Which is why I think we see Izzy just go, well guys, I'm jumping out of heaven, like, hopefully I get a kill. There's nothing else. That's the worst person to fall there. Because I think he had his paranoia. See, as soon as he TPs, he's ready to paranoia down Long. That was so bizarre to watch.
Real misread of something, that. Not sure.
That could be a terrible round to reflect on.
I think it's the one that you watch back in the post-mortem and you're like, that could have been such a different look now. But we're at 11-11. So for the Paper X fans, grinning. And looking at the money coming out, well, Paper X are fine. However, as you're noting, light armors, specters. It looks okay on the surface, but just below, looking a little weary. Kind of like my mental health. Izzy. The spot on the cross, but this actually sets up Brave into a deeper angle. They may not be aware of Brave yet. Izzy can show enough, or does he actually get involved? That's what I'm curious about. He can sit here happily, and Izzy can just, again, keep attention on that first peak.
Again, indications, operator noted. If Brave smokes here, he's close enough to give away the audio cue.
Yep.
Ready with the owl drone, they have to sit behind this tripwire. Is he about to smoke? Yeah, he has. They would have heard that. So they've now noted 2 players on Supermassive Blaze. Sheba and Mind Freak are now thinking, actually, guys, there's 2 people down here.
Let's explore.
Expect Paper X now to have a look at A lobby, potentially have a look at mid. The Seekers will confirm this, Lauren.
Yeah, this... I don't love this at all. Brave's having a nightmare now. Okay, and there's the Explorer on the other side. Exactly what we expected, and Forsaken's whiffed it. And actually, somehow it still worked out okay for SMB. This is you've got being gifted a platter of a round. It's all there for you, and just a couple of weird exchanges, and it's fallen to pieces. 20 seconds. Paper X, can you make up for an absolute fumble of an opportunity there yourselves? And here we go. Ult's coming out online. Denial of the spike plant going to be going through. Sheba tries to get aggressive to try and find some space. Mind free. This is a round or two to forget. You can see the pressure on these two sides. SMB is counting their lucky stars. That round for them was about to crumble down. And a couple of missed kills here and there. And here we are.
And again, you know, shout out Pora to be in a position to I guess, anticipate the very thing we can see unfolding. right? 2 players noted again. It's a similar situation. You got to account on potentially one mid, potentially one garage, or actually elsewhere once you don't get that aggression down from A long or towards A lobby. Forsaken plays it perfectly. Benkai tries to find something on the way in with them, but it's just not enough. 1 round separates them. SMB on map point now from an exhausting opening to this series.
Izzy still waiting out here. You can see the sky on the other side, still just fine. Forsaken's actually adjusted, going straight back towards B. There is utility in place, though. Pora's put some work down here early on. There it is. Shiba trying to catch a little bit of damage. It's Divide to find Russ in the deeper angle from Forsaken. Man. That's massive. Turco now in danger as well. Forsaken doesn't have to fully back away. His presence is enough to control so much to facilitate and allow that spike plant to come in on B. And now there's problems everywhere.
Neural Theft will tell them everything they need to know.
Oh,
Brave, Izzy and
Look
Turco called upon. The flash is perfect!
The combination, the 1-2 punch, Divine and Forsaken. He wanted to go a bit further on that, just eats the flash, didn't quite crest the corner. And Izzy and Brave, this is OT Rin all over it. Izzy now doing anything he can. You might as well make the fight, do what you can with what's in front of you. A 1v3, time dwindling, everything put against him. I think he knows this one's all but over, and they have to try and once again rebuild into this game. A spray through. Is that knife coming now? I thought about it, Mind Freak. It's 12-12. We're going OT.
Last player standing.
Those last couple of rounds, I think you could accredit that to maybe the pressure getting to some players in certain scenarios here, but HyperX respond perfectly. And it's on the back of this man again, Forsaken. And shout out Divide, look at this. These are freebies. When you have a Sky setting you up like that, absolutely gifted. Now a reset. SMB, at least I've got to say a lifeline financially. With how this with this string of rounds that we saw in regulation, actually the economy reset here is a huge consideration to make, especially with the round where the res was invested, the lockdown, the Hunter's Fury, and the TP onto
the TP, the wonderful TP, your favourite. Well, back to business. Forsaken go and walkabouts. Now, we were praising SMB's ability to tame him. The first time we saw SMB on the attacking side, we were in real high praise of their ability to tame the likes of Divine and Forsaken. Slower, patient play, paid off and then some. However, I think the mental grind might have kicked in. We'll see if they can still do that here.
Here.
Look at this. Look how much PaperX are willing to invest to find this, and it's literally territory control. This is all it is. They want to hold on to A lobby deep enough where they get the information of whether or not the hit is, or the lean is this direction from Supermassive Blaze. Spike actually committed slightly towards C, and Pora will confirm that now. But again, all this time brought up, Forsaken's not feeling anything other than this out zone here. You can see PaperX, they're set up for it. They're in position, Lauren. Great
read coming out from this, and the one brilliant moment of having Forsaken deep towards A, it allows you to push players over towards C. One flash comes in. It's a high flash, it's going to catch on the pop as well. Benkai can slip towards the back of the platform. Benkai swings out. This is exceptional work and the correct read. And a celebration of PaperX with the perfect approach after having a very hard half on that side.
That is absolutely textbook. Again, as soon as the out zone comes through, there's a trade-off, and Forsaken's like, well, there's nothing behind it, guys. Go towards C. This is so good. The flash just confirming it.
I love it.
Pora just in no man's land, spinning 360s. And again, I don't actually think Supermassive Blaze are anticipating this possibility at all.
No way. No way. They thought they maybe had
so
one
well
side,
played from PaperX.
So I mean, before you were having like a couple of jump peeks from Mind Freak, I think it was, just at the back of the side, just jump peeking a little bit, and that got caught. Region, and do the best you can for the fans who tune in at all hours, any day of the week. They are supporting you. So for them, this is still a tough game, and it ain't over yet. 12-13, we jump right back in. PaperX on the verge, though. After a perfectly read round, they still have to do one more.
Look at this. You're talking about indicators. Gravity well invested to at least slow Izzy down in sewers, and straight away they're going to try and find the space elsewhere. No alarm bot to actually confirm this here, so Brave will be called upon. Oh, Just pops ahead of the flash.
Okay, Brave's actually really got a clean fight on that. I thought the follow-up was going to be there. Brave had it all in front of him. How did Mindfreak win that? I have no idea. But it's a 4v3 and the spike will be planted on the C site. Now look at the retake. You have two players very close by towards CT, but that jet is still a fair way off. Izzy slowly working back in through B. That'll take a second, so time will have dwindled by then.
They found another one.
And untradeable too. Oh no, Izzy and Turco, what can you do with this? It's all on you two now to make something happen. Turco looking above that smoke, catches Benkai off guard. Great start. Has to be quick on this though. It cannot take too long. Turco now clears towards long. It's on site though. Sheba right there. Izzy falls. It's Sheba. And Paper X pick up map 1 in fashionable.
Like the plague in scrims. So actually Kakuka makes a fantastic point. Paper X potentially coming here and adjusting on the fly to what they've learned. Their experiences from playing teams outside their pool. Supermassive Blaze have now been put on red alert, right? And we talk about actually that one occasion we saw Breeze online.
It was.
Have they had the opportunity to learn anything here? Bringing this now.
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? How much have you been able to adjust, adapt, maybe play out the compositions that Kakuka was discussing, and maybe some slightly adjusted roles here and there? For now, we have to wait and see. Supermassive Blaze on the defending side, and of course Paper X on the attacking side, but they are a map to the good for Paper X, doing very well. As Izzy put under a lot of pressure over by Madonna, and set on vacation already. 1-for-1 trade out goes through, but the site is theirs, and a minute, Russ is walking away, feeling a little worse for wear.
Brave's found a kill in response though, taking the full Sheba now, actually going to upgrade to the Sheriff. And Turco will find a head. Devi and Benkai now called upon, the last two standing. Try and recover this here.
It's going to be tricky. Yeah, especially with that shot coming in, pushing Benkai even further back. Puts it all to Devi. They should be able to start that defuse now. Put 3 players on just body block duty. Don't let him get in here. The flash actually didn't find either of them, and the first shot does. But good work from SMB. Good retake on the site. I'd say a little over peaky on the site itself, but I mean, it's just maybe that first round.
A little bit, yeah, but Izzy is forced out right side on default, all the way to the back behind the Viper, and he's actually tagged by the Aldrone twice.
Yep.
So that's the reason he's shut down so effectively. And actually on the back of, I think Devi's initial flash on the backside of the Viper actually catches him there. So he's literally in no man's land. He's then revealed, so an easy kill. So actually credit to SMB to stabilize there, or at least get a better grip. I'm not even sure where Brave found that initial kill, but that seemed to be the green light on that retake at least to now. Paper X actually going to drift into mid this time around. A couple of Sheriffs and a Marshal invested here.
Well, that rifle, we were noting it. Russ going for that Vandal nice and quick, and look, the range on that thing is going to make you feel good. Until then, Forsaken just drags him down to the Shadow Realm. We've got the, look, Marshals we already know are super deadly. Sheba puts his life on the line to try and get that rifle back, and he's lost it. Oof, that could have been something. Benkai now, last one alive. And he's dealt with. Luckily, Brave's going to be able to get that, and it's going to be just fine. Keep that rifle in play. 2 rounds on the board, 4 alive, and the rifle didn't get lost.
I mean, you're almost right at that bit. Run into spawn, throw it out of the map
just get it away.
At that point. But luckily, it won't become an issue. And you have to purchase back into this. Devi actually one away from the Seekers, so if they lean towards shop, which is looking like early on here, might just see an all-out A-piece. Looking like the lean at least is that direction. Benkai going to pick up the slack in mid. Let's try and lurk behind, look towards Brave and Pora potentially to be caught out there. I think this orb is the initial objective for Paper X.
Well, the step may have been heard to an extent. So the utility noted. Izzy now in danger, but Izzy actually going to grab one on the way out. He's got a perfect readjust. I thought that was on. Izzy just going to try and keep himself away from those Seekers for a second. Allow Brave maybe to catch his cross here. Turco's on the site as well. Brave does catch the cross. That's a great shot towards Sheba, but perfect trades coming out from Devi. Gets himself towards the site. The spike's been lost. Now he has to fight against the odds, which he's still doing. Devi is putting in heavy lifting here.
Benkai finally coming through double doors. Russ down to 27 HP. He's got to be careful on stairs here. Pora finally in position to back him up.
He has to let Benkai work here. Benkai needs to be a little bit more proactive in my mind in this one, because look at the HP on Devi.
They're waiting for a flash here. I think they're waiting for the flash.
This actually
reset.
could be so good for timing the time. They're right next to each other!
Oh my god!
Peekaboo! What a terrible surprise for Russ. Benkai, perfect timing, and this is still doable. Pora, yeah, he may only have that Spectre, but the HP is low, and that's a great shot. The perfect Red Bull clutch coming in for Pora, and he'll be happy with that one and converting the bonus.
Yeah, fantastic. Again, Divide, worth his weight in gold so far this series. Trying to literally drive Paper X into A site. Again, Seekers come through. There's not an awful lot garnered on the back of it. Because at this point, I think actually maybe 10 seconds offbeat from where we'd expect them to find this entry. This here, I think, the flash actually comes through here. That's exactly what they were waiting for, Lauren. So they had to freeze.
Yep.
And actually, fair play to at least be proactive, and Russ trying to take the initiative to come across and find that information to see exactly what's going on. We saw Pora hop into his spy cam, which is still over on B site, so they were considering the possibility that something else was happening. We've really seen Forsaken be in a position to find it. It's been Divide really dragging Paper X forwards with him. With another round here. 2 Marshals, a couple of Sheriffs invested to see if, what can they achieve here, if anything. SMB's, I guess, ability to deal with this anti-eco.
I also want them to try and maybe explore this round, see if there's a vulnerability they can confirm or something they've noted, a tell or two. And actually, that's a very bold peek. You're right in the middle.
It's a weapon upgrade
and
as well.
That's a rifle now lost. Now, if they filter that back through, switch it out maybe. If Benkai can keep it. He's on 45 HP, sure, but I'm a bit worried that's happened because now you can kind of punish the rotations. If you can isolate the players on towards A, you can really punish. So we're going to see if this becomes a bit of a reality here. I'm a bit worried in this round, but there's yet to be much come from it at this point. So I wait with bated breath to see if it becomes an issue.
But it's interesting to see there Izzy and Turco backing all the way up to double doors, and now they're thinking, actually, could Paper X have moved up behind this wall? 40 seconds left now, and it looks like Paper X are considering a rotation. This will stack up towards bottom mid here. Sheba.
Well, but look at the catch of rotation. He can just be a nuisance, which sadly it can't. That could have been big information hold for that B piece.
And now I think they know exactly what's going on. Pora's drifted through tunnel now. They have all this information in mid. There's still a tripwire just inside this Viper wall. Catch it there. Benkai almost escapes with his life, but Brave will find his third.
Nice flash. 10 seconds though. 10 seconds left. Yeah, done for. SMB keep it. I was a little worried after that contact made in towards the hallway. I was kind of a bit worried that maybe off the back of tunnel they could have tried to push and pull the rotations. Maybe just exploratory for these main rounds coming up, the rifle rounds on the horizon, maybe confirming some of the suspicions they had leading into this, but we'll see. Again, this is a good start so far for SMB, and they need to keep building on this now.
And to bounce back, I guess, into this map, the look we want to see from Supermassive Blazers then being composed, right? Again, waiting for Paper X to be the ones to initiate and try and open some of these rounds up, because right now everything seems very well handled.
Oh, look at that double stack towards the top side of hallway from the defensive team and the push towards elbow. This is interesting. Brave and Pora, this looks like they were expecting maybe that pressure through the hallway, kind of maybe trying to explore that idea and then hit that fight, which it looks like it could be now, but I still want to see what Turco gets up to. Close flash reveals nothing. It is through B main, a laboured fight in towards middle. It does eventually fall into the favour of Pora. Little top up on the HP. 3 players very present in mid, and they've got the 4th kind of in support. They are all over the map right now. Forsaken needs a big round. He can only get 1. If there was 2, then game on, but they are at the back side of sight by Pillar.
Is he now? And closer and closer, that wall will go up, but the Seekers will confirm. I think they already know. All 3 on site, and actually Benkai caught sleeping. Mindfreak will be noted as well. Call upon Divine Mindfreak to try and recover this in a 2v4. And the Spike in a very precarious position.
You're going to need some big boy headshots. And Mindfreak's not finding him. Divine with a quick flash. Chases it down. It has to be a quick kill on the backside. Gets away with his life. And actually, bear in mind, this is now a 2v2. It becomes viable and possible. Divine, though, going to try and get Turco down. He can't win the fight. And now Mindfreak's in all kinds of danger. Russ on the front. And on the right side, Turco. And that Spike still just out of reach. Clock not favorable to them right now. Eats the flash. More time being bought. 10 seconds is all he's got. Try and pick your poison. Looks like he's going to be trying to play the time. No one is peeking, just double checking. No one's planting. I love this push and pull from either side. SMB make it to 5.
Huge round again, Divide making things interesting there, almost actually coming out on top. The counter flash actually from Turco, the only thing to prevent any theatrics really on the side of Divide. Again, SMB just in position to find what's necessary, right? And this is on the back of Izzy, I think, being the only person to peek towards A. And again, the biggest indicator on this map in particular is, you know, as soon as the Viper was invested, right? What's behind it? What's happening on the other side of the map? Is there any pressure towards mid? These are really, really good telltale signs of what's going to come from Paper X. And is he sitting as long as he did? I think told SuperMassive plays everything they needed to know.
Forsaken popping the ult. Full armor too. Everyone else just as those sheriffs gonna try and get. Whoa, bye-bye, rewind. Brave actually got him on the way out too. Brave is just the turret, the immovable object. They're gonna try and pour some utility towards him, but he's still just fine. Support's on the way as Pora's watching towards middle. There's no way in. Paper X tried to make something happen, and it was all for absolutely nothing.
Right, Divide, the last man here. Sheriff in hand. The blind, but it's not looking good, and SMB will close out a Prime Gaming flawless round victory here to put 6 on the board. And now I'm desperate for a Paper X answer. Something. Again, the pace change I don't think is it. They're just not finding success where they were on Haven previously. That's why I always love seeing a Cypher now, just the hard counter.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Well, you want to run it? You want to run it and dash us? Yeah, not so much. Nah. Not so much.
Good stuff. 6 on the trot now for SMB. Now we did have quite, I don't want to say a one-sided start to the prior map, but it was, you know, some rounds really strung together for both sides, but haven't seen that response yet from Paper X, and considering this is their map choice, I kind of expected a little more him. Forsaken gets away with his life and actually does damage towards Russ. That's a crazy part. Now, that's been a trade out in the meantime. Javai and Turco both now removed from the round as Paper X do still have that mid control. They're starting to maybe consider that B site, but to see how it's handled on the other side of things. Pora, that's a big pickup. I'm kind of surprised Forsaken allowed that to happen. Maybe a little overzealous, but the trade's good enough. That's what he wanted. At least the site's now available.
And again, a good indicator of Paper X actually taking a step back there is look how late the Viper wall is going to be invested. Viper's pit as well on site just to make sure they can set up comfortably. This plant down. The Hunter Fury actually going to force Shiba off the plant initially, but no tag, no damage done. Benkai, lock down Shiba, Hunter's Fury. So lots of tools available at Paper X's disposal to convert this round.
Izzy, first brave player to step forward. No subtlety to this, spraying him wildly. There's the lockdown as well. We kind of expected this. And Izzy, he's got 7 seconds to make something happen here. Spots out the player towards Pillar. 4 seconds. Looking for the next step. Nah, has to back away, has to concede from that one. And time. It's perfect. They played that very well there. Actually, they've cost them just enough time to not make this viable anymore.
Yeah, potentially a little preemptive with the lockdown. But, again, at this point, you're desperate to get something up on the board.
6-0 down,
yeah,
mate. Just
you're desperate to get something up on the board. It does remove, I guess, something from Paper X that I'd be certainly looking towards in terms of these more structured approaches and finding a first blood and then kind of popping this utility in response to what goes on. But a good round nonetheless. Still got the Hunter's Fury, but the other side, actually nothing available other than Pora's Neural Theft for the side of SuperMassive Blaze. Need another couple of those. Again, we're looking for 3 to survive, 4 to survive to actually overcome this financial advantage that SuperMassive Blaze have as well. And look at that, they're paying no respect to this Viper Wall on A whatsoever. I mean, actually, initially now, I'm not sure what the catalyst was there to draw 4 players, because initially nothing was given away in the early round.
Maybe they're depending on that Forsaken being in middle. I don't know what it is, but yeah, absolutely nothing. The problem is they've lost their player towards that B site. The rotation is so far away, they have no information on middle, so they're still worried that maybe there's a player lurking around there. This would buy time, cost time on the retake now, but Spike to be planted. Look at the post plants. Just 2 towards the site here, 2 sitting way deeper.
Shiba playing deep enough as well to make use of those shock darts he still has available. Forsaken going to be called upon here, but Russ actually finds Divide with some shock darts of his own to come in. Forsaken will fall as well.
Now Benkai and Shiba, yeah, this is a problem. This is all falling apart. These are individual fights. There's no crossfires. There's no punish on these picks. I'm a little surprised in that post plant.
It looked so well coordinated as well. Everybody in place to at least hold, you know, one potential, I guess, anomaly right there, but just completely fell apart. I mean, the two initial peaks looked great. Forsaken losing out on that 1v1 was kind of awkward, I got to say it, but straight away here, SuperMassive Blaze actually turned this one around. And now the problem is that loss bonus is completely reset. This round deficit doesn't play anything towards PaperX. They're right back down to effectively nothing after this purchase.
Just a little baffled by that, I'm not going to lie. Again, 7-1 though at this point. They're in desperate needs of rounds. SMB are tearing away with this map, and the map pool a little curious now to most of us. We do have Izzy still towards the backside of Madonna. Mind Freak. And the rest of the gang all just around the corner here, so they now know what's coming their way. Izzy just fires off a shot, hoping for the best. Timing is everything, and does he just get the pixel out of place? Or counts the timing right, he gets the pixel. It's Mind Freak. Instant trade. Devi's right there. Devi's firmly becoming a favorite player of mine, but it's Forsaken on the side who's doing the work as well. He's not alone in this, though. Wants to push deeper. Does, loses it. Russ is right by the try box. What a play from Russ!
Wow. Again, revealed, flash, the Seekers come through. Not able to convert that. Again, yes, it was a prominent issue in Haven, but Forsaken just not landing the shots necessary. He's getting into the right spots, identifying where these players are. First one from Russ is disgusting.
One enemy remaining.
Wow. Huge round from Russ there. And now, I mean, SMB already started run away with this one. It's a position really where mathematically it becomes a win in the first half, unless PaperX can get themselves to...
And, you know, pushing SMB in all the ways that were, you know, maybe outliers, you know, things we were really excited by the prospect of, but unlikely to see. But now it's just like, well, no, SMB are just X times better. How do you characterize such a difference, a night and day from map 1 to map 2? Now, Izzy...
Here.
Has a little look towards middle. He knows what's coming his way now. Notes 2 in middle. Oh dear, he's had a nightmare. He's had an absolute nightmare. Delete the tape. Get it gone. Never look back. That's a big weapon. I don't know if it's recoverable. You can see that SMB are going on a recollection mission. They're like, we don't really want that being a possibility. Poor Azane. Looking decent though. Gonna find Mind Freak.
Everyone hiding.
Now 3 more to locate.
Tell them everything you need to know. Fever and Devi. We noted with the neural theft, and Spike actually still stuck down at bottom mid with Devi's got to do something, but can't even find one. SMB will close out comfortable fashion after an initial mishap from Izzy. I think missed his dash, gets stunned up. Forsaken brazen with the dash forward, but I think an easy to convert kill for him.
Oh, Sheba's he's having a bad day.
A mare.
He's having a mare. Oof. You don't love to see it. 9-1. It's just a blowout of a game.
Well, again, when situated, there's barely a buy in hand here.
No, it's
so
like, okay,
we're round 11.
Eco.
Next is you got to force.
Yep. It's a bit of a shame to see. As I said, it just feels like PaperX's attack doesn't feel that dangerous yet. I haven't seen SMB
no
look
weight
super
behind it
pushed.
whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's surprising after what we saw on map 1. I'm left a little stunned by it. No, this doesn't look great. No, this doesn't look great at all. Ooh, that doesn't look great to me. They're not just holding passive positions. I don't know if this is good.
A couple of people sat back in their chairs here.
Oh, they've got the lean back. Well, we'll find out.
Look at that, less than 60 seconds. It's crazy. What a turnaround that was.
Damn. Hey, 9-1. Back into things. Again, so much to say about 9-1. That's when I'm going to start opening up the hashtag to people at home. That's when you know I've really hit that low point, when I have to depend on you wonderful people listening here. You are my bailout. I hope you all know that. Right. 9-1, though, we kind of pick things right back up where we left off. PaperX, well, they are left without a response at most of the time. Their money has been broken. It's been few and far between in these buy rounds. And when it's been these buy rounds, they've been pretty categorically SMB looking. The flag is looking real Turkish at this point. Now, already...
Forsaken was literally half,
yeah, he
half
was
an
real
inch
close
off finding
there.
Izzy.
Oh, carry on.
Yeah. Pora will find him nonetheless. So a 4v5 for PaperX, and ultimates available. Couple of light, actually only one light armor in the hands of Divide, but you got to question the utility behind this as well. We'll come back to that financial discussion. But Russ actually with the operator, I didn't even spot that with this purchase.
I mean, they are just
Pora looking sharp now.
Yeah, Pora's mad. After map 1, maybe just thinking, nah, not going to be messing around anymore. Finally goes down to Benkai, but they need a little more. They're still not winning out on the sites directly, so again, this is that mid control. You're punching the players in between pretty much, but it can be filled. The gap can be closed. Mindfreak, though, could get a big punish.
Oh my
Russ still
God.
checks. Okay, Russ, fair enough. Yeah, close it out, bud, as well. Why not? Just put the icing on the cake. 10-1. This is quick.
Last round for the half.
I think that's it again. I'll have to take a proper look at it, but it's not going to be full utility, full armors, full weaponry here for PaperX, even with that loss bonus.
Just give me a piece of that aim.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's so sick.
Love that little bait scale. Like you said, yeah, Russ checks it, but is he just like, I'm hopping out here, just clear underneath me, please.
Full faith.
Yeah. You see here, a guy actually better than what I was seeing, but Sheba, no armor. He's got a rifle. Bladestorm available. Forsaken. He's going to hop up. We'll find nothing, though, over the top of Cannon. Lockdown available as well for Benkai, but again, with the way this has gone, I don't think PaperX even considering the possibility of resorting to a set play. I think they're going to continue trying to find an opening. Looks like finally they will try and pop towards pyramids. Actually, oh, Izzy just hopped right into that. Luckily not going to do any further damage to him, but...
No, but he has to respect it. It's at least forced him away from the site for now. So Spike can go down. PaperX actually will get into a decent... Will eventually get the spike down and get into a decent post-plant situation. So there is that bonus. We haven't really seen them 5 alive post-plant until this point.
Snake bites to rely on, and that lockdown now comes into play, and it's a huge component considering the Hunter's Fury on the side of Russ was invested.
Okay, Sheba now forced out of the angle slightly, so...
There you go.
You can see SMB getting a little bit closer, but there it is. Lockdown comes out. Mindfreak does find Pora. Russ is now caught as well. This is the first time we're really seeing a better look on this retake. Forsaken makes his debut, and it's not bad. It's only a 1, but it sets up the rest. Divine and Mindfreak there, 10-2. Yeah, certainly plenty of questions, but it's a one-sided map, and I don't think we have... We see PaperX find room, find a way back in, and comfort that they didn't show in that first half. Game back on. High flash for Forsaken. That's a lot of in one sentence, and he's dead anyway, so why bother? It's already going to be easy to kick things off, get things started here, and SMB after the start we'd expect.
Yeah, I mean, they come out swinging. That's what you'd hope to see from them, but it's not gone their way in terms of those first 2 engagements. Spike not committed again. SMB with so much time to just sit and wait for PaperX to slip up. Find an opening. Izzy with the fadeaway. Actually going to find Mindfreak in nest. That Sheriff being put to work in the pistol round here. And now the Divine and Benkai again, Izzy.
Izzy, man. What a game from him. And he was struggling in the last one. He was doing okay at keeping Forsaken tamed at times, but nice to see him let loose a little here. Eats the flash, but, I mean, Devi's 1 HP.
Without the dream.
There is no dream. There is just Izzy, and SMB make it to 11, and it's a flawless start to the second half.
Indeed, and good progress. 4 kills for Izzy. Yeah, I mean, even if it even gets to the point where his Bladestorm's going to come online, have to see what the look is here for PaperX, because again at this point, I mean, throw something into it. I'm hoping to see them at least try and take the initiative at the start of the round again. Yeah, the Reaver's the best one, I think, to listen to. You ring the bell. See here, yeah.
Oh, we can.
Frenzy, 3 Marshals and a Stinger.
Oh. And he's still hitting better. Our drone meekly making its way down middle. I don't think Izzy cares much that he is noted. More than happy to take the fight. Forsaken just about gets out of dodge, but Turco still connects so well. Forsaken has to back away on such low HP already. Look at the damage. Sheba 24, Forsaken 16. Their HP is in the bin.
Devi actually with the purchase here doesn't have that heal available either, so two very squishy targets for SMB to chase down here. The second one will be found. Brave will be the one to find it. Sheba not able to get anything done out of Nestes, so has to resort back towards Archers. Benkai. This is weird.
It's really weird.
Still finds it.
Or just maybe having a casual look towards like maybe so. Why is he there? Fair enough. Oh, okay, SMB. Let's just wrap it up and get out. Prime Gaming flawless. That's 2 on the trot now as well.
Match point.
Again, actually, is he an opportunity here to get an orb? Or
come on, Sheba.
That's all I'm praying for in what I will dub the final round of this map.
Yeah. I'm Team Sheba right now.
Yeah?
I believe.
Okay.
Hey, here we go. Yeah. Poor map choice, I think, is the main takeaway here.
I think that's, yeah, that's probably a very brief summary.
Yeah, real brave statements I'm making.
Yeah.
Hard hitting. Again, though. Still a chance. Still a chance if Forsaken's going to do more of that. All right. Finding Pora, and Pora's been on. He has been absolutely on one. SMB on stopping, though. Brave's going to lean on forward, just oozing confidence. The double stack, though, towards main is going to be a bit of a weird one to handle. Brave's still going to find Defi, leaving old Forsaken kind of on his own, maybe until he gets that support, maybe from Mind Freak coming over, but Spike's going to be going down, and what a curious round we have. The post plants will be a little weird.
Well, indeed. Sheba will find initially some information, but Brave will find Forsaken. Sheba now. Come on, buddy. Find one. It's not going to happen. Mind Freak, the last one to deal with.
One, no more. There it is, SMB. It's a clear and as far as it possibly could. Map to a complete blowout. Now I have no idea which sort of look we're going to get now.
I mean, the double duelist makes me feel as if they're going to lean pretty heavily on that aggression, particularly on the defensive side here. Well, the pistol round is anything an indicator for that, but SMB straight up mid here on the back of the boombot.
Yeah, super fast mid, and it's pretty much all in, excluding the Cypher. So Pora, yes, he's over towards that A side, but that's fine, as Turco's already won the fight towards Devi, and now mid's wide open. All these rotations are now super labored and so far apart from each other. Forsaken is on red alert. He's got 3 players around this corner, and one closing in around the back. He's got nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. SMB are on it today. Now Pora can be the one to catch those rotations, or in trying to flank in middle. It all slots into place, aside from Sheba.
It's beautifully done there. Actually, yeah, Sheba was unnoted initially from the nade, but it comes through, and it will be a Prime Gaming flawless to start things off here on Split. SMB, I mean, again, I've come back to that point of respect in terms of the veto. That right there was a zero respect pistol round, straight up. Devi swings out, and again, you've got to question that in itself, but it's into 3-4 people just staring him down here. Again, no consideration for Forsaken to actually consider the possibility that anybody else is behind that weird wall that they put into spawn.
Yep. And again, just picking up where they left off, right? Like this is going to be now hard for PaperX to rebuild that mental game. They've just had an absolute beat down on map 2, which can happen. It was a weird pick. They kind of went for something a little out there. Map 3 is not meant to be the same sort of story, but Izzy is making his own narrative here already. But look at this burst through it. Actually,
oh my
wait,
God.
Izzy just finds them regardless. A concept considered towards Heaven, that push out through Mailroom, and now the flawless rounds are just flooding in.
To see here, again, with the way the first 2 rounds have come out, you don't expect PaperX to have the confidence to make any sort of coordinated set piece here, at least in the start of the next one. It's so much damage with just that initial, but again, Russ's flash confirms that there's potentially 1 or 2 more members of PaperX lurking inside Mail. They clean him up with relative ease, and a good opportunity here for the bonus as well. Right through, actually 1 Vandal on the board still from Russ, so can potentially to find a long-range engagement here, because everybody else on SMGs or Sheriff in Turco's hands.
And it's been so all in from SMB. We have 5 players leaning towards that B site. No one holding mid, no one holding that A push, just in case. It is just all stick together and let's just trade it out. Be aggressive, play as a pack.
I think this is good, actually, anticipating people like Forsaken trying to come out, drift forwards a little bit, especially with Divine now on the jet as well. Sheba will, I guess, note at least 2 or 3 people as they chip a hole in that wall. And look at the set piece here from PaperX.
Yeah, but Pora's still here. Does get outdone by Divide. That's a really good counter piece, pushing in for that aggressive play towards B main. Now they're going to fall away from this because they just lost a bit of mid control, but it's garnered back by Sheba. Great work playing in as he does fall back towards the rafters heaven side. Izzy trying to aggress through this. They do have Spectres. It ain't perfect, but Izzy's actually outdone Sheba now. Divide. Oh no, it's only a 1-1 trade. There's still danger around. And Forsaken on the site. Excuse me, it's Mindfreak on the site, and Forsaken up towards heaven. Mindfreak is so blind, he's going to be taken out, and it's a 1v2. Now, bear in mind, Russ had the rifle. The Spike is left in a really dire spot for him, though. 15 seconds for his follow-up flash. Forsaken on the angle. It's a great bit of damage on it, and the double stack towards CT. Russ, you're going to need something insane. Not going to happen. Benkai, good, safe catch in the end from PaperX after a dangerous round.
And again, in terms of what I want to see from PaperX here, at least don't allow Supermassive plays the bonus. Don't then allow the extra round in hand, because once that deficit comes up, it's so difficult to then be the one to switch things up. And like I said, start pushing out on defense, start trying to isolate kills like Pora we saw in that previous round. That's on the back of Sheba's response to that mid-pressure, right? The hole gets blown in the wall. Again, it's 2 or 3 people noted, and straight away PaperX, they take the initiative. They push back into Garage as 3. To find that 1 kill, and from there it's just systematic. They're able to hold on to both mid and male simultaneously. Mindfreak once again going to be called upon. But SMB at least spread a little thin this time. It's not like that death ball we saw that you noted earlier.
More of a default-ish. I mean, you might want to start leaning on that if they're going to start pushing the extremities with 3 players. That's when you do have to kind of lean into those looks. Make sure you catch it and don't give away free info or give up map space. You can already see Izzy trying to make that progress towards middle. This is quite a common occurrence we saw in the opening rounds. That's a difference. Forsaken's got himself in there, at least for the 1-for-1 trade, so gets a good bit of damage done towards Izzy, but unable to do much more than that.
She's actually playing a little deeper this time around. Nothing in place to kind of support Forsaken there, but Garage control actually maintained on the back of Brave being here.
Concealment.
There's still actually some utility in place as well, but Mindfreak got to be careful with the timing there. Nearly caught off guard, but
full info.
Yeah, Sheba will fall.
And Mindfreak now, yeah, the angle. Tried to work his way around on the pillar, but SMB have the site now in hand. This is a problem. And bear in mind how deep you saw Benkai and Divine holding towards A. These rotations, they're so far away. This is a save.
It's got to be at this point. Like I said, they were in such dire financial straits on map 2 that I think, again, without Divide getting the Blade Storm online, yes, it makes it an awkward consideration, but I think this is the right choice for PaperX here. Whether or not actually they're going to try and catch anything in mid or even consider finding some exits. Poor already looking as if he wants to go hunting, and again, can't fault him. They're in a position to do so. Here again, it's unfortunate because Forsaken tried to get, and actually they're stacked up enough to where he can't even dismiss. I don't know if that was Forsaken maybe trying to double dip, which again is what you want. You've got
line.
Yeah, you've got to keep him in check.
Here we go. Let's see.
No, it's just it's just good spacing.
Good spacing, fantastic spacing, and this is the thing that people don't understand how difficult it is to just get a clean kill and back away half the time.
Especially on Arena.
Exactly. These guys are making it so difficult to do anything. They are in lovely spaced areas, and we've said it before, we were looking at SMB on that first map, and there were a couple of issues here and there. But as individuals, I feel like the elevation in performance has been very visible here. A lot of the players have really come online, especially that last map just running through. But confidence will be at an all-time high. On the other side, we have the 2 rifles that were left over from the prior round coming in to support. That is just pistols. There's maybe a shorty, yeah, on Forsaken, but that's that. That's all you got.
Just getting actually spammed away from holding that tight angle. Izzy will actually find Sheba. Again, SMB just have such a good read on exactly where PaperX is trying to position. We've seen these kind of ratty holds on the eco round at least. Well, they know it's potentially a shotgun, potentially a judge on the other side of these smokes. Again, great usage positionally and also utility to find this space once again.
And Izzy's just patrolling middle. Look at it. Devi's on the other side and Forsaken's down below, but it's like these are the tougher angles to clear, right? They're the harder, safe angles to clear. You still have to take a bit of a risk to go to that sort of a point. And Izzy tries to swing back through. And it looks like they're going to burst off the back of that. Force them away from the angle far enough. Izzy actually going to carry on forward. Spots one just down below. Sends it blind. Still finds its intended target of Mind Freak. And the site's all theirs.
Now PaperX fight. Again, 2 rifles to consider here. Forsaken, I guess, going to try and find something on the back of the wall, but Brave will actually make that decision for him. And again, forced to hold on to these. SMB going to get themselves in another round where they survive as 5 as well. So potential to build on the early momentum already. That one reset didn't really account for anything. Because there's one thing I love, it's seeing a flash like that get stuck against the wall. But again, there's no opportunity really for...
Us Sky mains find it very difficult sometimes.
We always catch them on camera as well. That's the best thing, always.
It hurts my soul.
But this is the thing, it's PaperX have just... it's a blip along the run, and that makes it even worse.
They can't even keep it. Devi needs to stay alive here. Just about gets out with it. Yeah, that's fine. But still, you're clutching at straws. You're looking at the minute to try and give you an advantage away through something that will work in your favor. And very little is right now. We need to identify this. Because SMB are just taking full mid control. They're running rampant. Izzy is untamable right now. He has been absolutely laying waste to not only kind of vent room, rope room. He's been taking mail room. He's been pushing control. We haven't really seen a full hit towards the sites necessarily yet. Maybe we'll see it now. First time we've seen that full A-lean coming out, so a different look here. Maybe they've gone, oh, we've got to address this mid-piece, and now they're going, we're going A. That's a different start, though. Benkai, huge impact at the start. Taking down Izzy is perfect. Maybe the head of the snake here, but Devi right there beside him. Perfect shutdown from PaperX. This is the side I was waiting to see, but now it's still Turco. This would have to be an ace. He's got 2. Can he get a res? Yes, he can, so he gets Izzy by his side, but will lose his life for it. So now Izzy.
Out of charges.
What can you do with this? Gets himself a rifle, and you have to be God's gift to this game right now. Tagged up, spots them, nothing more to be had. First time we're seeing a fully held site hit there.
Yeah, there's nothing that's indicative, really. We talk about things like conditioning and forcing the the enemy team to be left guessing, right? Where do we throw 2 people? Where do we throw 3 people potentially at the start of a round? Anticipation of this, and I mean, yes, Benkai finding one fully through the smoke there is something you can't necessarily rely on repeating, but at least this time around, SuperMassive plays actually potentially it leans in their favor now if they resort back to spreading in a default, looking for mid control once again, because those are the sort of things they've got seemingly for free.
Bomb buddy out.
That's exactly what we'll see here. Izzy will send the boombot up. Look how deep he's able to get already. Just the first 15 seconds all the way into the other side of ropes. Yes, Benkai now has adjusted his utility. There's a turret up in heaven. A couple of spots. And you can see actually with the way his nano swarms are positioned on the minimap, you can see he's relying on that lockdown, which is why we're seeing this lean for PaperX towards B. He's the fail-safe for A site here. Actually that one all the way in the corner just to allow for that pocket once the ultimate goes down. But he cannot fall here, Lauren.
He can't. Oh, you could see them so willing to test this as well. They're actually changing mind. Back on through, Shiba. It's all on you now. They're running your way. You have 5 players stampeding forward. 1 down. He gets the tag on the second. The slow goes in, tries to set up Devi, but it's Forsaken. Dragging them down with him. You're not going to pass, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered for PaperX.
And actually, Shiba's the one person you want in that scenario, right? He has the slow orbs. He's used his wall, yes, but at least there he finds the first. He can throw a slow orb down so that nobody else can close the distance on him. Again, perfect usage here once from Divide. Just that smoke to create things, make it a little more awkward for them on the way in. Potentially creating kind of a one-way angle on the edge of that. And actually PaperX will string together 2. Still 1 round to make up though. Only ult burnt up was the Empress, so everything else available for PaperX here. We'll see Once again, Benkai make this adjustment. This time around, Devi over towards A main. Potentially to keep Pora honest. Keep him in check. And Izzy will be shut down at the start. That's in mid once again, so... Another bread and butter round for SuperMassive Blaze to at least try and find some control in mid.
No time.
Brave will, yeah, actually Brave and Pora will fall in quick succession there. Sheepa will find a third as well, but Russ good for the trade. Russ actually the last man standing, so he can do any further damage here to the side of PaperX.
One, that's it. That's all he's going to get. We're back right at the doorstep now. And this, I find it so hard to categorize PaperX, right? Because we'll see rounds where they just get absolutely run over, but credit to them for finding some adaptation here. That next layer to go to, that next step, and finally they've been starting to quell the likes of Izzy, catch those mid pushes, making it slightly more difficult. This is much better in my mind, but again, 4-4, 3 on the trot now. Finally coming back into this. The money's got to have been, yeah, it's been taken away from SMB. But they've got odds and ends they can still work with, but it's far from perfect. And it's the Pantheon Hypoc pause. We're still taking the brand. I'm sorry, guys. How do you feel?
I don't really want it. I guess
You don't want
really
it?
have a choice, do we? It's
No.
PaperX.
We go again. People hoping that PaperX will pop off a little more. Maybe a little... Not disappointed after the second map, but wanting to see more of what made them good. I like you guys getting in touch with us, so thank you for that, for keeping us company during the tech pause, but everything is resolved. We can get back underway. 4-4 now. Let's jump right back into the action. Op in hand with Devi, another new look to add to the catalogue. As mid-control starts being toyed with, and we see the purchase here. Far from perfect. This was the off the back of the break of the money. The funds are now depleted. Devi's like, nah, I'm gonna dip. Leave this one to you, Forsaken.
First time actually though, you can see the operator employed on the side of Devi. Initially here, forced away from this position. Turco actually on a solo swing. Forsaken actually double dips, finds the second, and will get away. But Izzy closes the distance. Devi now with an operator.
Anything
difficult.
You can do, I can do better. Izzy doesn't want to share the spotlight. This guy just got 2 massive kills in quick response to Forsaken just finding mid-control. But he did it with a Sheriff. He's got himself a nice little op as a treat, as a reward. And now where do they want to go? Fancying maybe B. Izzy just to try and fit on through. There we go. Back on it, but Pora's still lingering around. Still showing a bit of presence, which is slowing down these 2 players, hitting that rotation. So now Mind Freak is going to be put to test against Plenty now. Yes, Pora goes down, but he's trying to buy time. Mind Freak's the big boy, and he finds him on the way back to the site. PaperX find another to put on the board.
Again, this is the problem being when the early rounds played out in this way. It comes back and once again, Benkai with this setup on A, and I've got to feel it now. It feels as if SuperMassive Blaze are considering leaning back towards kind of that set piece, right? They're looking as if they're going to go towards A.
One enemy
Mindfreak, good read on this situation,
Nice.
at least to retake B main control. At least at that point, I guess Pora is the only one that hasn't been visibly confirmed, and they look for that lurk, and right there, completely rips that apart before they can even get towards site. SuperMassive Blaze actually going to call a timeout here again.
Yep.
Benkai has this setup. Now, initially, in the buy phase, stacked up 4 towards into game, so they're trying to identify, I guess, exactly where Benkai is positioned, but he's been good at actually not showing himself at all the last few rounds.
No.
He was unnoted as of yet, other than, I guess, the turret of the window previous round, which obviously then they don't know it's Pora, but they did find Pora.
5-4. Jumping back in once again, this mid-control at least showing this is a consistent look. Every single round, we should get used to this. First man to probably address this will be Forsaken, but with a newer angle, slightly deeper towards the backside of the vent room. Izzy, no subtlety, feeling bold enough, but they've got to know there's 2 players here. The feed show, but Brave wins the fight. And now that's problems galore as PaperX has to respond. Devi, you're a brave boy, just gonna dip his head down there, but he's gonna know better. About to get eaten alive, but Izzy, what do we do with this now? Up we go, and around we go. Money just post it, he does it, finds nothing. Maybe just giving them a bit of space to play towards the site.
Actually here again, still the failsafe in position. Benkai still has this lockdown. And everybody on SuperMassive Blaze except for Pora positioned towards site. The wall goes down in heaven, so they're going to try and maintain control here. I
Spike planted.
think the lockdown going to force them back, but not all the way out.
This is Heaven controls. This could be hard. You've still got so many players here. Yeah, the lockdown's going to come in, but how much they get forced away. There's still a little bit of playable area up there, and Turco's going to just thrive among it. 3 more seconds, and he can get back to where he wants to be. But for now, they ain't that fussed about this Mind Freak moving around as well. Just gets absolutely eaten alive. Down to 1 Divide. That op has found nothing. No value in this one yet. And this has been the perfect adjust, perfect lean towards A. And SMB, that is a gorgeous round to look back on. A Prime Gaming flawless 1-2.
And effectively dismantle everything that PaperX had put in place for the last 3 rounds with that setup that I talked about time and time again. And actually in this round in particular, both Devi and Forsaken show on ramp. They show to Pora Spy Cam. So they're almost baiting. They're saying, look, it's the Reyna and the Jet here. You know, we're not playing retake on A. We're going to fight for it at lobby. SMB with the perfect response through ropes. Again, Forsaken getting caught slightly off guard. And actually as well, Devi burning the Blade Storm to try and get a desperation kill in response.
Straight up middle again, but Forsaken this time found. He does have Sheba by his side, but this does mean that A will be lighter than before. They have to be proactive, but the wall's going to be behind them. But this is... Forsaken's spray actually does find Izzy, but they're going to return this fight. They're turning it around slightly. Brave is happy to take this. Caught in the heels almost. Mind Freak pulling the attention, but Forsaken still stands. Now they are boxed in, but they are fighting their way out. Russ still claims Forsaken, and this is problematic. This little pack that is just roaming in middle is so deadly. They had Pora making sure no one was going to be flanking around the backside on A, and he can now join the rest of them.
Wall about to crumble as well, so Pora will be able to regroup here. Still two, oh, again, Mind Freak up here towards stairs and Devi with that operator towards B main. Still 2 to hold down the 4. Mind Freak actually was spot. The gravity were perfect actually for the first, but Turco in position to trade and get the res.
Devi makes value just before position gets really revealed, the intent fully known, and he needed it, but Turco denies it. What a shot from him. Massive impact this round as Benkai, we know he's been playing towards that A side, so his rotation's a little further away. Position now fully, everyone knows where he's at. On the switch up, still isolates Russ, goes for the follow, can't get it, Brave is there. And SMB now back-to-back rounds on the board.
As well,
Last round
have to take a look at the economy for PaperX here.
Yeah.
Maybe a little flaky to say the least to close out in the last round. See if they'll be able to get a full purchase at least. Again, the gravity well perfect, but straight away the response is there with both the kill and the res actually. Well, light armors, yeah, but the Bulldog, it's serviceable. I don't know, looking at it, utility doesn't seem to be a problem. You look towards Sheba with the wall, those sorts of things that may be overlooked, but a bit proactive here to at least take the orb on A here and maybe force Pora a little deeper into spawn, but first time we've seen PaperX completely give up mid.
Yeah, we haven't seen this lean on this side as much to give Pora a little bit of a pushback. Kind of interesting to see Forsaken there, and you're right, that mid fight is now slightly absent. And SMB
You are divided.
can be curious as to what's going on. The divide goes over towards that B site.
Need that back. Pulling them home.
Benkai could be in a spot up bother, but Devi isn't, playing from the rafters. Catches Izzy on the push-up. Now that's going to slow progress. SMB going to have to work out how to try and pry these players out, these slightly deeper positions. The flash doesn't land, the repeat's good for Devi, but he doesn't land the shot. That time, it's still not hitting. It's Mind Freak going down, and Devi's now fallen. He had so many bites of the cherry. Benkai! What a round from him! He still needs more, though. Turco still looming, lingering up top. Jump peak's great. He has done so much. The support should be here. Forsaken should get his back. Turco shouldn't cause any more problems, but it's still Turco. That's 1. Needs to find 2 more.
30 seconds left.
Benkai on pillar, he knows that. Sheba up top, maybe not so aware. And now Turco. Maybe considering that's to mask the sound of the drop. He should know, but Benkai catching the final player. 6-6. We said, is it going to be map 1? Is it going to be like map 2? We have our answer. Far more like map 1 and way closer affair here, Hypoc. But it is the halftime. So we're going to take a short second to dive down to the desk, who are going to give you a quick little update on their thoughts coming into this second half. all of this is up for grabs. Every single part of this is up for grabs. So, again, I don't know where to cut this, because we've seen just rounds on the row now. 4 back-to-back rounds came in that first half, and it was like, well, okay, there's the bounce back. But again, these teams seem so hard to split between each other here.
No, I think the interesting thing is now PaperX have to lean into something we didn't see in map 1, which is kind of this all-out aggression, right? It was very composed, it was very in control, there was kind of protocols in place to at least put themselves in a position to win rounds on Haven. Now, I feel as if actually, Decimate's a great point. Composition-wise, they really, really have to force the issue and be decisive in these rounds. So we'll freeze for a moment, actually divide the furthest forward of anyone. Mindfreak on the other side of the map, actually just making sure there's no counter push on the side of SMB. But nothing noted on either side at this point. I think actually until that point there, Pora spotting a jump peak.
That's about it. And you can't overly read into that. You can already see what PaperX are doing. They're leaning the hell away from it. Maybe taking a little bit of mid control. Maybe considering that B site. You can see the lean coming in from Sky as well, en route through CT. That's all going up and away we go. Brave though waiting, gets set up for 1. That's a good first pick up towards Forsaken. He is by his side, and PaperX leaning right back away from this.
The problem being though, Brave was close enough to hear this, and now Russ in mid, potential to flash out here. Benkai actually going to play Lurk here behind the turret. But there's still 2 people in position. It's Pora and Turco still on A site here to hold down. And another tripwire invested on A main.
Yeah, they didn't do enough to pull these rotations that deep or that long. They made a bit of contact, lost a player, and then started running. Pora can just sit and wait for this. I'm not impressed by this at all. Mindfreak's gone. Benkai, your last one standing. Yeah, that wasn't good enough to shake SMB at all. They are happy enough. They instantly read that retreat. Not going to happen.
Again, you got to think about what happens there. So Pora is spotted, and that's the call to then hit B, with only 1 person outside who, I guess as soon as Mindfreak doesn't take any contact there, they're kind of maybe guessing that the weaker side of the stack is towards B, but it's just so bizarre to watch that. The time to get from A main all the way into Garage, and then do you bank on SMB putting an extra body towards A just on the back of, I mean, call it contact if you want. It's just very, very weird to see. That's the sort of things where you think actually maybe it's coming down to a confidence issue, and at this point the pressure getting to PaperX.
Pressure is a huge factor that we're probably not touching on enough. But for now, Izzy's work in middle is not over. Isolating Forsaken off the back of that Sky utility makes it a little bit easier. No, the pain shell is nasty too. Russ trying to close that gap. He wants to finish what he started, and he's going to, but not quite enough to take down Mindfreak. But Izzy's there on the cleanup squad. Brave finding Divide comfortably as Benkai now your last player standing. Can at least get the orb, and no far towards Pora. Decent conversion, 4 alive, no threats.
I'll look to, again, 4 survive, so good opportunity at the bonus round. A Supermassive plays, some SMGs to ride on, but okay, I was going to see if we do see anything weird come out here. Initially, Pora comes across, he's going to invest a tripwire in ropes, and then be the solo man to play anchor towards B. Now, the initial concern being PaperX actually stacked towards mid here. There's 4 players on the side of Supermassive Blaze here. They're going to try and flash out of A main, potentially catch Benkai.
Let's see if Benkai can be picked apart. He's going to dip away towards Sewer, and SMB are going to overextend almost. They want to try and chase him away from that, but the response is quick. Straight up middle. PaperX want to take that space in response. Now they're going to really understand this. Now Forsaken, has he been considered well enough? They've got to be so aware, and no, they're not. And this is a huge problem. It's just fallen to pieces down here. Forsaken could overextend on that if he wanted to. Decides against it, leaning towards that B side. Look how deep they're holding on this Russ. That Cypher sitting is slightly deeper, but Russ going to play forward. There's 2 players here. He's going to get 1. He gets the second. The third evades, but already damage has been done. It's a 2v2 now.
A spy cam from Pora. Again, the perfect distraction there to allow Russ to swing out. Now PaperX. Again, they can walk back to the tripwire though. Look, they have to deal with that, and that's going to be Turco called up here. Again, the slows will stop this initially. Time's still on the clock here, so they can run away from this. The turret will confirm, actually. There's at least 1 here. I don't know if 2 audio cues were given away, but they've got free access to B site here.
Shiba just going to sit himself up here.
30 seconds left.
Turco will be his first challenge if he wants to push deeper. I doubt he does. Just be on bodyguard duty for that spike to go down and try and sit towards the rafters. Works up the back of the utility with the KJ, that's lovely. Pora couldn't quite catch him in the back, so now there's an opening. Pora has to push forward, finds tag, not the frag, and Benkai again, they're going to shut the book on this round. PaperX right back in it, they're finding answers now. But I mean, at what cost as well? That was still a costly round.
3 kills on the side of SuperMassive Blaze, and actually this is the moment here where SuperMassive Blaze tried to flip things back in their favor after, I guess, spotting one against this distraction. Perfect for us. Unlucky not to find the third, actually, but credit PaperX for having bodies in the right place at the right time. Let's see here, it's... Russ the only one with the SMG. Is he actually with the operator online here? But it's weird at the start of this round. Turco's still going to find Benkai.
It's like those dreams where you can't run, you're like stuck in place. Just quicksand below your feet. Couldn't make it out of there. Benkai going to just have to force away. And now we look towards the others. What can these 4 do here? I like early aggression. It's a dangerous game to play, though, at 8-7, but it pays off.
Be reset to get a bit of a heal up in B Heaven, but in here Pora repositioned towards site actually. A bit of utility invested to help him out, but the spike meanwhile making its way back towards B. Forsaken trying to remove these seekers so they can't give any further information at least. But again, the timing's just disastrous here for PaperX. 40 seconds left on the clock. SMB have already preemptively pulled away from A now.
You can see the expected timing with that flash. They're still a good 6-7 seconds behind that. It's
30 seconds left.
Very offset timing. And the double stack now. Hot flash is perfect. Turco is just set in motion. Couldn't ask for anything better. Nice to live, but they couldn't handle. Mind Freak on the swing. Gonna take down 2 and puts Brave in a bad spot here. Tries to look towards Heaven, but one's already slipped towards sight. He has got Izzy coming through on CT, and that's gonna catch Forsaken on the cross. And Izzy's still right there, and he will not be moved. And it's now a big round for SMB. They're starting to get towards those double digits here. Very close to.
Initially, in the trade back rounds, and PaperX now forced, I guess, unless Devi has his Bladestorm. And the thing to note here with this, Devi has actually not had as big a game as he's had on the previous maps. See if they're going to make a play for the orb here, try and get that Bladestorm available. Again, SMB have, again, a really good read on what's going on. Again, the 2-for-1 trade, and then SMB come back. That's why we're seeing a couple of Sheriffs invested. And actually pushing deep enough here where they can't even get this orb in garage. Turco finds the first, Russ, 2 to follow up. Actually, the third eludes him. Damage done here, and okay, Mind Freak will respond with a second here, but look at the HP.
They're left in tatters, aren't they? Divine Mind Freak. Trying to pick up anything they can. The scraps left on the ground, but Brave was closing in the entire time. Devi, what a shot from you. 14 HP. You got anything else you can show us here? You've got a minute to play with. Spike ain't that far. Got a rifle. Got his ult. Got a little bit of utility. 2 to find. 1 being Izzy, op in hand. Slowly leaning down middle. Let's pause for a second just to consider the timing. The cross is being watched by Pora. So Devi now having to just work his way around. Every angle could contain a player, so he's clearing meticulously. And now timing's everything on this peak towards that top side of Heaven. Pora there, and it's going to be Pora. Nicely done. Double digits now found by SMB. And I like that aggression. It felt a little wild, but I see the concept. The execution is always tricky, though. And again, PaperX are no slouches.
No, again, to stack up around the orb, anticipating actually the one thing that can bail them out of that eco round is Devi. I guess maybe not accounting for Mind Freak and a Sheriff, but not enough done. But now, PaperX will actually call a timeout, and this is the point here where PaperX need to flip this back. We talked about 13, 14.
Happy to see them still keeping up here. But look at the run of rounds. That's what scares me, Hypoc. That's the bit that stands out to me now, is that it may look close, but what's happened in this half so far has been still quite one-sided.
Actually, again, Deviant and Forsaken will be the ones to drift into mid. Is he still with that operator? This time, though, they will actually challenge this. Now, the timing is going to be good enough. The smoke will last long enough that they can get comfortably into Mail. Again, don't expect SMB to fight for it. Once again, Pora has this spy cam above Hell.
You should run.
So know if this split comes through, but in a position now to be at the edge of the lockdown, Lauren. That's huge for PaperX.
The impact it has is now they can go.
Spy cam again.
Bloomin' spy cam. They never get away with anything. Russ just on that edge. Quick pop flash. Didn't note a player, but Forsaken kind of gave away his positioning in the end. But this is a lovely side take. It's worked out perfectly. Now they need to hold the retake.
You are divided.
Ooh. Divide could have a nasty little position. Playing out this cubby here. Let's see if he can make something of it. Divide just going to have to wait patiently. He's going to have to hear the audio cues because one set through, they're in someone else's problem, but Shiva is Forsaken. It's a shutdown! 4 players back-to-back fall for SMB, and they can't make it back in. Russ is locked out by so much, and what a way to turn it around for PaperX. They've perfectly crafted something there, maybe just at the back of that ult, however they wanted to play it out. Maybe that was the pause leading, and we just want a round on the board, a fail-safe plan, and that might have been it.
Really well coordinated. Again, getting 2 players into Mail just to be there at the edge of that lockdown. Really well put in motion there. And Izzy, I mean, completely unable to do anything. I mean, what's the counter to that? He swings out mid with an operator. It's never good. Actually, it's always nice when people have to run through the Cosmic Divide, isn't it?
Makes you feel good.
With everyone on PaperX in position to punish.
Oh, don't show me dinner. Who's doing? Is it? If that's you, Prius, I'm done with you. I'm done.
There was Yeti in charge of cinematics.
I don't like blaming Yeti. He's a sweet man.
Oh, you're saying Prius isn't?
Exactly. Don't fall for it. That's all I'm saying. Come back in though. Look at the money damage. Like we've got 3 Spectres coming out. That's okay. Turco and Izzy are still okay for the purchase, but oh, Brave, no way! That's one he can't make more of. I thought he could have just sprayed and prayed on that, but he couldn't. And now they're going to flood on through. You can see SMB want to just close that gap, try and get as close as possible. PaperX like, oh, whoa. That's a lot of you. We're going to just chill out for a second.
Again, the timing's not there though. They can't capitalize on this pressure on the other side of the map, and also Pora's utility still in place to just confirm that that's not the case. He will actually head back towards A, but PaperX, they wait behind it, anticipating the res. Potentially, is he good for 2 headshots, though? Forsaken finally responds, but a man advantage firmly in place for SMB, and Russ will find both remaining kills. SMB now 11-8. So again, that round timeline becomes more and more awkward in terms of the purchase here. Especially with that investment in terms of the ultimates on the side of PaperX. Actually, yeah, Devi obviously can ride through the Blade Storm here. It's going to be really, really tricky. CB does actually have the res as well. Forsaken one off the Empress, so potential to turn this one around if they can find a favourable opening duel, but they definitely haven't been able to achieve that just yet.
No.
A comfortable opening duel.
Yes, well, I think that's a fair assessment. Seeker's going out hella early. Izzy's just going to follow them down. Divine going to be noted. And now what does Izzy do with this? Stay posted up, maybe? I don't know. Falls away. Maybe looking for the read. I don't think he got any of the audio cues here. Is Divine out. Trying to play back towards his space. Seemingly aware of the possibility of each other here. Touch of damage towards Divine, but he's going to actually kind of close that gap real quick, trying to bounce off the back of it, but he can't do it. Izzy does well to stay alive, but expects more, and there isn't. They're all over towards B main, and oh my word, if he reads this right, yeah, you can see them scattering, running out of there, because they do not want to be near each other right now.
Damage done. PaperX a tricky res to achieve, but actually we're finding Brave here. Might pull Izzy out of position. They should be able to just hit straight towards default here. Izzy in no position to do anything about it other than the opening being found, but Pora now the last man standing, and PaperX weather the storm right now.
30 seconds left. Spike
for them
planted.
survive. Oh, don't have mind freak. Actually got spotted there, but he just got into the corner. Pora retrieve the rifle upgrade and try and hold on to this one. Have to see now. Again, perfect response. I think actually with that purchase, whether or not that was kind of a safety play in terms of being able to then reinvest into the next, it's always tricky when it's this 2-1, 2-1 back and forth in terms of the timeline. I think actually SMB should be in a position where they can potentially force something in, but it's definitely not going to be a full purchase. And now when it's only 2 rounds, that's when you really want to be careful about what you're investing into these rounds.
Yep. It creeps up on you. It really does. So we'll have to wait and see what they go for this round. I'm actually kind of interested to see how they kind of approach the way of kind of spreading the wealth, I guess. They seem to be able to fashion a decent enough purchase.
In.
Yeah,
I mean, all in on this one.
I think there was light armor I saw on one of them, but otherwise it's rifles.
Like I said, it was almost a buffer play to obviously make sure that this purchase for the next was comfortable. But PaperX win this. They're at double digits. And SuperMassive players have nothing left.
And look at these back and forth rounds. Okay, so SMB are going to get proactive. They're going to post up Turco. It's maybe the forefront of this, but look at the response coming out from PaperX. They're going for a heavy alien, and there's very few players here. Now, a little bit of damage done, actually. A lot of damage done. Forsaken is worse for wear. Pora, though, going to play passively, just trying to catch him on the cross. He was never here to fight this site, but just stay close enough to make post plants uncomfortable. They only had him here. That was it. So actually a great read from PaperX to get the spike down, get into this post plant. And wait, Pora's going ahead. Whoa, no way. Pora just walks at Forsaken, even a little baffled, but he gets himself healed up. A little bit of better position, pops the ult and gets ready to go.
What's happening in the back lines? Oh, look at this. Sheba's got this wall up to slow down towards screen.
They funneled him, man. This is...
They have to come through this choke point. Either that or heaven window.
And it looks like now's the time. Straight on through. Izzy's the first one, put his life on the line. Mindfreak catches him mid-air, drags him down, and they're all just holding. Benkai's got 3 players around this corner. He's got crossfires. He's got support, but he's only got 1. Trades come in. It's a 1 for 2, as now Brave is your last one alive. Divide goes in. Mindfreak stops him. And we are right back into it. PaperX are not letting this game go.
They wanted to throw everything at that round as well. Brave trying to create a pocket of safety to get that defuse going, but I gotta say, at that point, it's almost desperation. Great setup here in terms of actually SMB play into it perfectly by putting this wall up. They walk right into the double nano swarm setup that Benkai has, and I mean, PaperX are able to just kill so much time in that post plant. Things like the wall up on ramp, again, making sure that nobody can come over. There's nothing to really stop them from coming in there, but
money's gone. High pop.
This is exactly what we talked about here. That's all in with the ultimate investment as well.
Oh, look at what's left. Nothing. Barely even progress made. On the other side, you're starting to get Mindfreak not far off, Benkai not far off, and this round should be a gifter.
You will not kill my ally.
Not saying it too early, because we've seen Russ and some other people do some mad shots. And Izzy finding Forsaken. Hyde Park, this is not meant to happen this way. Spike's going through sewer to try and keep it safe, ferrying its passage towards A, but there's players in between. This is not safe just yet. Brought back to level pegging at least at the 3-3. Benkai spots one deep towards CT. Has to fall back from this. Do not overextend. Do not let that rifle fall at this point. Play safe. Get that spike on site. You can see the patience being shown right now. Mindfreak can't make this cross yet.
Brave will be spotted on the way just inside there.
Does Russ get the timing on the cross?
I think he has, yeah. He's got a cross, but the spike making his way towards B now. I think actually information's been relayed.
Russ got
Brave now, Brave now considering this possibility.
Oh, Sheba's going to walk right into this. Free fire for Brave! He heard just enough of the steps. Brave's found Sheba, and now Benkai and Mindfreak are sweating. This is panic stations everywhere. Benkai feels surrounded because he is! Russ has got him! There is no way SMB are going to do it like this. Mindfreak now in a 1v3. They've got rifles. They're geared up. They're ready to go. Izzy, the first challenge. Mindfreak passes it. He needs more. Divide goes up. He has to put everything into this. He does not.
Can he slip into spawn? No way.
This is it.
Oh my god!
Right next to each other! Russ, it was just a jump scare coming through that! SMB! How is that the round you just won?
What a way to turn things around. I can't believe that it's that one that SMB are able to force through on the back of... They had nothing left, Lauren.
Sheriffs.
Absolutely nothing.
Bits and pieces. A paint shell.
But again, they're able to punish this res here. As soon as Sheba comes through. Wow, what a round. What a
One enemy remaining.
what a way to turn this around again, just at the final post. And again, Mindfree, like I said, he creates a little pocket. The potential's there for him to actually get in, maybe even then throw a gravity well onto the spike or something.
Tournament life now on the line. SMB might have given themselves just that lifeline needed, but Benkai's still fighting. He finds Russ and they're not giving up just yet. They fashioned together the best buy they can. It's got light armor. It's got Guardians. It ain't pretty, but it's the best they can do. Brave though. Oh, the adjustment from Brave! It's just perfect. He wants this done. He wants to move on from this game. As now Benkai, Devi, and Shiba facing down Izzy in middle. Pain Shell comes in. There's a swing from the right side. There it is, Brave again. That's 3 now. As Benkai and Shiba, it's all on you two.
Have to turn this around. They have to find something that they can act upon here. Actually, all 3 members of Supermassive Blaze committed towards B site.
But Brave,
Right.
he's found another. Brave, it's an ace to close it out, to keep SMB alive.